Okay,
Well,
we're on. We're live. Okay. Hey, everybody out there in Twitch. I'm Carlos A.S. Lising. This is not the First Betrayal campaign. Welcome instead to our first ever episode of a Kingside CASL production. This adventure is called the Skeleton Caye, and it is run by, as you can see up in the top corner of our screen, Jeremy Brezeale, my best friend. Jeremy and I, throughout the years, have done a lot of different gaming projects. We've known each other for a very long time. One of the things we've always really wanted to do was a project called Kingside CASL, which was going to be Jeremy's imprint within my different projects, whether they be related to Dungeons & Dragons or Marvel Universe or any of my writing projects. This is the day that long winding road has finally, the tree that we planted so long ago has finally borne fruit. And I couldn't be happier or more pleased to be here with him when he takes his maiden voyage here as our DM. Even though this is my channel, I am going to turn over all the reins at this point to Jeremy. At this point, your dungeon master. I know a little bit about what he's cooked up for you guys, and it is amazing, and I can't wait to be a part of it. Jeremy, with no further ado, take the reins, brother.
All right, well, let's just start by, Carlos made that all kind of lovey and everything, but the truth is that this is really just about making Carlos a player and kill him live on his own channel. That's payback, what the goal is here. So Patrick and Magnus and I have been speaking behind the scenes on how to kill Carlos on his own channel. That's what this is going to be all about.
It's like, happy birthday, you're dead.
Yeah, on your own channel, Castle Entertainment just exploded. So what we're going to do is we'll jump right in.
I would expect nothing else from you, Jeremy.
It's just the way that I operate, bro. I can't even apologize for this. So what we're going to do is right away jump into our setup. You guys, before we went live, Magnus was asking about some of the relationships that you guys have. You guys know each other really well. You guys have all traveled together, adventured together, and Ithranduri, who is Carlos's character, is a cleric of Lendor.
Right.
She was a librarian in the Lendor Isles and Fort Anira. And she's kind of arguably your leader, and has come across a map in relation to some of the fellow librarians. Came up with a map of an island in an area that she believed she knew well. This map was of an island which ostensibly was a temple to Osprey. So she, of course, brought this to you guys as a group, and that includes Magnus, your father. She brought it also to her son, who was the bard in your group, who's not with us, and some of your fellows in this group who didn't come along. They were kind of occupied with other things. So Magnus's father went off on his own because he's a monk of Cord, and he was too busy accepting a challenge to fight to come along with you, and so kind of just wished you well, and you went on your way. So the first thing that I want to cover with you guys as we kind of open this thing up and start the Skeleton Caye full throttle is after looking at this map, if you guys have a chance to look at this map, Ithranduri is very much the way that Lendor is sort of the leader of the Sul Pantheon and its kind of all-father. Ithranduri sort of plays that role for you guys, okay? And she confirms that she believes the map is authentic and that this island probably does exist and that she would like to investigate it. She's all about the collection of knowledge and lore. She's a librarian, right? So you guys decide to take this boat outside what is just outside the borders of the Lendor Isles, which is sort of her province, which she knows. The three of you are on this boat. You're navigating through the Lendor Isles, out into the waters, deep into the waters, looking for an isle that probably exists. what I'd like to know from you guys is there any special equipment that you would have prepared for this outing so that I can make note of it?
I would like to make sure that we have, or at least that I have, a bit of chalk, please, in a small pouch, both powdered in one pouch, and in the other, I would like it to be stick chalk. And one other item that I would like before we leave, I would like to stop at a bakery.
Okay.
And I would like to have them bake several small balls of pastry with a silver piece sticking out of the top of it.
Okay.
I will keep those in a messenger bag over my shoulder.
That's
and
it.
For all of my friends out there that are watching from Alan Groey's campaign, I love you, boys.
Okay. Okay. And you guys can be assumed, because you guys are adventurers, you can be assumed to have, stuff like rations. And this is really just about anything unorthodox that you wanted to pick up before we proceed. So, Magnus, is there anything that you would have liked to have brought with you?
Still thinking about that.
Patrick?
I can't think of anything.
Well, in that case, if no one else will think
How about a drum?
anything,
A drum?
Yeah, a bowrin.
Okay.
I would.
Carlos?
If nobody else can think of anything, I would like to take one more item. Then, I would like to take a 10-foot pole. Okay.
Okay.
But my 10-foot pole is broken in part of it. Okay. It's got a big crack down the middle of it because it was made by a crackpot.
Okay.
But the 10-foot pole is in my possession for sure.
Okay. What do you, Patrick, give me a percentile.
53.
As part of your standard adventurer's kit and the fact that you're a cleric of Fortubo, you do carry on you holy water.
Okay.
Yeah, you can add that to your list. Carlos, you want to say something?
Yeah, I would. If that's not a part of our standard kit, then I would definitely have them as well.
Okay.
Some
So
holy
I
water.
can
Maybe
can it
3 flasks worth.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Can I bring bindings?
You can absolutely bring bindings. I just need to hear it ahead of time. You guys are
Like
such.
3 sets.
That's fine. You guys have adventured so much together that having the right equipment is. I'm not even going to fight you on it. It would just be a matter of preparation and time.
Sure.
Okay. If there's not anything else, we'll proceed. You guys are out in the water, and it's late at night, approaching morning, where it's still dark enough that only starlight is shining, and you have a little time to prepare. You think you're getting close. You think that you're closing in on where this supposed Temple of Osprum out here in the middle of nowhere outside the borders of the Lendor Isles. You think you're getting close. I want you guys to take a second to role play your conversation before the isle is before you.
I'm staring out at the stars. Ithorandi is staring out at the stars. And moreover, just being very quiet, pensive. I would think that my traveling companions at this point would know, hey, thanks, Jedi Benjamin. I think my traveling companions would know right now that Lendor, being the leader of the Sul Pantheon and the god of time and tedium, I'm very interested in the passage of stars. And being an elf, I could stare at the sky motionless for days at a time, weeks at a time, just to follow a star's path and chart it on my paperwork. So I'm just staring at the stars in the night sky. Every once in a while, gazing out in front of our boat to make sure that there's no reefs or anything like that we're going to run aground on. But before I'm done, I'm going to look over at Helan, or I'm not even going to look over in his direction. I'm just still going to stare at the stars and say, Halan, do we have the blessings of your deity today?
Why, of course we do. The almighty Fortubo is with us from here on.
Is that seriously your dwarf voice?
That's Halan, bro.
She
All right,
closes her
man.
eyes and just sighs gently. She's used to Halan and his lack of education, but at the same time, she realizes that he brings a great amount to the table, so she puts up with it and doesn't say anything.
Or the stars.
The stars smile upon our endeavors this evening, Halan. She looks over towards the island, and our path takes us towards the key even as we speak. She looks over at Devlin. Devlin, are you a thought?
He spits into the air as like big a loogie as possible over the side of the ship and just watches it like spin and drift in the sea air as it like heads and he says, the wind is with us today.
Oh, how quaint, a new falling star given birth.
What you guys know about... Because I could have picked any three other players to run the Skeleton Caye with. It's just... Okay, we've got...
But the wind wouldn't be with them.
I chose a straight man character this evening.
I don't understand how the cleric of Fortubo is a redneck, but whatever.
He's a
just
redneck
gonna roll
dwarf. Come on now.
Okay. What you guys know about Delvin is that he is, although he's not a monk or a cleric of Cord, he is living in the image of Cord at all times. He is a half orc, but he is a Soul believer, and his father is a faithful of Cord, a monk of Cord, and he's really interested in proving himself not only to his father but to his deity.
Sure, and I would never, ever, ever throw it in his face that he's a half-breed mongrel that doesn't deserve to wear the moniker of the pure soul.
Nope.
No, never. I would never do that.
Musical. Okay. Moving right along, if you have no further preparation that you want to do, the light softly comes upon you, and you know that you're within the grip of morning in within 20-30 minutes. There's no doubt about it. You also know that you are further out in the Lendor Isles than anybody ever goes. There's no reason for anybody to ever go here. Even when people are going all the way from the northeast down, they go through the Isles. They don't go around them. They go through because there's trading posts, there's rest stops, there's this type of thing. There's no reason for anybody to be out this far, ever. And you know you won't run aground of anything because there's nothing out here, okay? As the sun does come up and kisses the boat and the water around you, you do see what appears to be an island in front of you, and I want all of you to roll percentile, please.
I am using, by the way, everybody, since Jeremy brought out the Gary Con badge today, I'm using my Gary Con dice that I got as a gift from one of our great supporters today. These are Norse Foundry. I'm busting these out for the first time tonight just for this game. So because Patrick is here and he's Norse, he might as well be Thor himself. And because Jeremy is this is his maiden voyage into DMing, I wanted this to be special. So here come the dice.
Okay.
Watch him roll like crap now with that kind of intro.
I got a 38.
I got an 85.
I got a 50. Right on the money.
I got a round.
Okay. Ethranduri, I'm only talking to you.
Yes.
You notice out the front of the boat that by virtue of the map and your general awareness of time, that you have aimed the bow of the ship directly at the heart of this isle, this Temple of Osprey. and it is maybe half a mile in the distance. It spikes up out of the water in an unnatural way. It does not appear to be a natural structure. You can feel free to tell your boys that as you proceed if you want.
I don't look at them. Again, I'm still looking out in the night sky, and I say, as I'm certain that you would imagine, given my patron, our path leads us true to the isle ahead. She says, Ithranduri says, it is not made by nature. However, she looks over at Halan. Certainly you understand that all things are made by the gods. So certainly there is no such thing as unnatural and natural. There are only things that have been shaped by nature and shaped by the hands of those who inhabit it. She looks over at it. I believe this to be the latter.
Okay, as you... Go ahead, Magnus.
It looks like a giant spear.
He nods. Ithranduri nods. Perhaps that bespeaks its character to some degree. But regardless, we will not be entering it today. As soon as we reach the beach, I would expect us to make camp, for I have a discussion that needs to be had.
Delvin, you ain't gonna spit again?
Do you need me to? I can.
I don't know. I just noticed that every time before you speak, you spit. Fortubo, make it so.
That's the tusks, you racist.
Not my fault you're a half-breed.
So that was...
I just wrap him up in a giant hug and just squeeze him just a little too much. Just a little too much and just shake him a little bit before I set him back down on the deck.
Okay,
the fourth of the seven heavens, that is true love. This is why we adventure all the time together. This is why we are inseparable. You are my son.
And clearly this is why Fortubo has turned his back on humanity. In any case, we should arrive in the isle at any moment.
So you guys do approach the isle, and as you get closer, what Ithranduri told you about the isle appearing to be an artificial construct is true. However, as the boat approaches the sand, and you do get a little bit of purchase on the beach there, it becomes obvious that if it was crafted and artificial, which it was crafted a long time ago. Because not only do you have the sense of this temple of Ostrom, but all around it grows an island, so to speak, over time, over maybe thousands of years. If Ithranduri had to guess, there has been some natural foliage and such that has grown up around here. So you guys are you now have the luxury to upon getting out of the boat and setting up camp. You have the luxury to do a little bit more preparation. You're sitting there on the beach. The water is glimmering with the morning light. You do notice. Give me percentile, Magnus.
$97.
Never mind. You can tell Ithranduri and Halan that the island itself, the temple of Ostrom, is in the shape of a skull, which does not, for either of you, being a cleric of Lendor or a cleric of Fortubo, it doesn't add up that a temple of Ostrom would be in that particular shape.
Do not be disturbed by the shape of the temple. For this clearly is the province of Wijas, the Red Ruby Sorceress, and she, as all gods are, is subordinate to Lendor. Therefore, my authority within this place is absolute.
It looks like a pyramid.
Okay, now the wind is blowing in from the water, and as you assess this setting of the temple a little bit more, you see that the front of the building has marble columns stretched out. And the way that they're arranged, although the church is an open affair, you can't see very far into the temple. It's almost as if it was arranged in such a way to obscure what was inside, so that you would have to look in a little bit closer. Do you guys wish to examine the temple grounds at all as you're in preparation and making camp?
Definitely.
Yes. I'd like to say something first, though. Gitano, please don't encourage him. And no, it is we Joss. Anyway, I don't care what he says. I would like to... they're encouraging you, Jeremy, to make us dance at the puppet master's strings right now. The crowd is firmly behind you. So
of course
they don't celebrate me like this when I'm DMing, but that's okay.
How many bits does it take?
I don't know.
Of donation to get Jeremy to do something bad to Carlos.
The first thing that I do is I walk up to the structure, to the side of it, not where the stairs ascend, but to the railing, to like the structure outside of it where it is.
Okay.
I want to look and see if salt has collected to the outside of this place from the ocean, the open ocean.
She's a weak librarian, so I'm just going to like tailor over her shoulder with my spear out, just kind of looking around and observing the general environment, but protecting her, because she tends to get like hyper focused on things and not notice shit sneaking up on her. And that's why I'm usually here, you know?
It's the truth. And I
like, only one guy can spit in the wind.
If I could kind of hear him over my shoulder, I just smile gently. Hey, thank you so much, Grandelwolf. I kind of smile to myself a little bit, knowing that he's over there. I do feel more secure. Do I see that salt has collected to the outside of the temple?
Yes, you see two things. Not only has salt collected a little bit over time, there's been enough time passed that rock and wave has made sand and wind has blown it into the temple.
The eyes of the skull, there are depressions in it. Have birds nested in there?
No, and that's a good question, because the skull eyes are attempting to look up into the sky.
Okay, has anything collected in there, obviously, that would have fallen from the sky? Basically, what I'm trying to assess, Jeremy, is if anything cleans this place. It's ancient, and it should be subject to weathering and salt collection and things like that. But if it's a magical construction itself, it may not have those attributes.
It appears to you, and I'm not, you don't even need to die roll for this. As a cleric of Lendor, you would know the passage of time in a situation like this. You can tell that it has not been tended to in hundreds and hundreds of years.
Okay. Somebody just said in the crowd, and then the Sith attacked. So I look over my shoulder at Halan, and I said, "Dearest Halan, if you would please be so kind as to inspect the outside portion of the temple for its structural soundness, in your opinion, as a man of the Dwur, I would appreciate it greatly. Delvin, if you would be so kind as to accompany him to ensure his safety, I will ask the questions that need to be asked of the gods." I turn around and start walking back to the beach.
When you question for Ithranduri, when you walk back to the beach, you are circling the temple because you were adjacent.
Yeah, I want to be able to see it, but I don't want to go all the way around. I'm just going to look back there and then retrace my steps, because I don't want to get myself into too much trouble.
That's fine. So the three of you are all on different jobs now. Let me give you a little more insight at the front of the temple. Basically, what I want to do is split the party completely so Jeremy knows how it feels. No. I will slap. We're live, so I'm going to keep it clean, but you know. So Delvin, as Delvin and Halan, Ithranduri tends to other business. As you guys look, and Carlos, you would have seen some of this from the vantage that you were studying the construct also. As you guys examine the temple grounds, you see that the temple is built from equal parts of metal, marble, and stained oak. This may or may not mean something to your faith. Its entry possesses 4 columns, between which 3 banners hang by thin strands of rope. These banners are ruined by the passage of time and only just barely holding on. The wind is snapping them the way that a harsh wind would snap a flag and waving them in that way. They are a faded black, reminiscent of occult robes, and they remind you of midnight. If you were in the deepest part of night, it reminds you a little bit of when you were on the water on your way here. And for Halan and Delvin, you guys see writing upon them that is ancient Sulawese and symbols that have, they look like somebody has pinpricked the canvas to create a starscape. And this is ancient artwork. I mean, the language and the banners themselves are clearly from an era forgotten. In fact, it's a miracle that the fabric is even there. As you look closer, there are what appears to be an archaic attempt to express novae, comets, solar storms. There is a crescent moon that is upturned over a sunset horizon, and all of you are capable of reading Sulawese. The writing between the 3 banners reads as follows. The first banner says, "The stars are my guides." The second banner says, "The voids of space are my brethren." The third banner says that chaos is my sire. Gentlemen?
The first thing I do is I commit the positioning of the stars in the sculpture to paper, and I want to study them briefly to see if I can
do we
figure out a
recognize any
time.
Sulawese constellations in them?
Give me a time based on Sully's constellations. I want to know when this was made. I want to know what was going on historically when this was made. And I want to tell my friends the scripture is of great consequence, except for the last passage. The last passage seems unusual.
Okay, so you're attempting to divine the age of the banners.
Yes, based on the positioning of the stars that are written on there. If they're nonsensical, if it's just artistic, I should be able to tell that as well.
It's not.
I didn't think it would be.
That's important. Okay, so you're capable of, after, and you guys are impressed by this. I mean, she knows, being a librarian, she's the knowledge that this elf has is insane. She's able to tell that the time stamp of that starscape is no less than 3,000 years old.
I'm going to take a different track.
Okay.
I want to know if there's any significance to the constellations and if they are any creatures or animals that we might want to look for tracks or look for evidence of as guardians.
Delvin, no. Delvin is not able to divine that. He's a faithful of Cord, and that's a little bit with his level of knowledge, his reasoning skills. That's a little bit beyond him.
I just figured with all the seafaring that I'd done and navigating by starlight with my dark vision and stuff.
All of that is within your province as an adventurer. This is way too archaic for Delvin. It's probably too archaic for anybody other than Ithranduri.
Okay.
Okay.
Dearest Halan, did you find that the structure was sound? Will we go in there and will it collapse upon us as we do so?
So Halan, yeah, we got sidetracked. Halan was indeed investigating the temple. And when he did, he noted two things. First of all, the structure appears to be. Give me a die roll, Patrick. Give me a percentile.
70.
Halan, because of his heritage, can tell you guys that the structure is very sound. It was probably crafted by magic. And it was probably crafted in two parts only, meaning that one part of it was crafted in one piece and set on top of the other piece. But it is structurally sound, to answer your question.
In two pieces?
In two pieces.
It would need to either be the magic of the gods or a power mage. She looks over at Halan. Halan, is it the style, architecturally, of men, elves, your kind?
So, Halan, you can.
Do you need me to roll again?
No, and actually, all of you guys would know this. The design of the temple is absolutely Sul in nature.
But I guess what I'm saying is you can tell if a human makes it or a dwarf build it, or even though the style is.
No way. This is absolutely made by something other than mortals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think he meant dwarf when he said your kind. So don't be mad at him.
I look over at Delvin. I smile gently. Yes, indeed.
Patrick, you need to make me a 20 and a percentile.
6.
He's going to take a poke at Ithrandur here in a second, isn't he? Anyway.
13.
Okay. One thing that Halan notices, guys, and this is that was a critical die roll. As he was studying the structure of the temple, as Ithrandur requested, he noticed something else. Not only is Halan a cleric of Fortubo, but he's also a thief acrobat. And he can recognize a lock because he's been trained to pick locks and even build locks at times. Looking into the construction of this temple, there's no question in your mind, Halan, that the designers wanted the temple to either appear as a giant locking mechanism or actually be a locking mechanism.
Okay.
Something very big below, maybe.
The only
Locked here
question
by the
remains,
gods.
Is it something meant to be kept in or kept out?
I think we go home.
I look over at Halan and I say, Halan, my dear, I have an idea.
You always do.
Please show Devlin how it is that you tread the waves. Walk on the water there, about 10 feet distant into the water.
All right. Is this another one of your tricks?
In a sense.
Pay attention, Delvin. I'm only going to do this twice.
That's good. I need more than once.
Now,
Yeah,
as you
I go
tread
over to the water.
waves, I want you to spread your thoughts out. I want you to use your mastery over surfaces to tell me if you can feel... Can you feel the sand trembling? Can you feel the structure moving at all beyond?
Do you need me to roll
You
for that,
think
Jeremy?
that's a great big head?
She looks over at you. I can't rule the possibility out.
Just a second. So, to be clear, Halan is standing on the surface of the water.
Yep.
Well within his ability.
Yep.
10 feet out into the water.
Mm-hmm.
and you want him to use the waves to detect motion.
I want him, because he is not in contact with the ground, yet he's on contact with the surface. He should be able to feel that surface of the sand and the rock beyond it much more accurately than he could if he was on it, causing it to tremble himself.
100%. I just want to make sure that I know what information you're looking for.
Right.
So here's what Halan can tell. He marches out into the water, and you guys never get tired of seeing this dwarf walk on water. I mean, it's an unbelievable sight. As he gets out there are two things. One, he does feel movement, but it isn't the temple. It's the island that has kind of built up around it over time. The temple itself is not moving. The island around it is shuddering ever so slightly. And we're talking about natural move. This is a natural motion.
Okay.
I jump.
I look over at
I just jump in the air and land hard on the sand. Just to see what'll happen.
Him come back from in the waves. You impress me with your skills, Halan. Mostly, I just wanted to see if while you were doing that, your concentration would break and you would fall into the waves. I look over at the rest of the group and I say, you will all rid yourselves of me for a moment. I need to be alone. And I walk away towards the back of the skull.
My God, she's emotional today. All this needing peace and quiet and isolation. It's like she didn't even want us to come on this.
Wasn't she the one who made you pick up those healing potions? Now we know why.
Magnus and Patrick, while she is dealing with her emotional instability, what is it that you guys would like to do?
My emotional instability.
I don't know.
I want to go up to the edge of the skull and take my spear and carve Delvin was here into the wall.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys see Delvin with his spear that you know is enchanted? He goes up to the wall of this temple dedicated to Osprey. The second that he attempts to mar the outside of the temple, he is launched.
It is art. This place appreciates art. I'm just adding
this ain't
artwork.
A place where you put graffiti, bro.
That is urban art.
I can't believe I just heard that.
Delvin is launched. I want you to think of what a half orc, a beefy half orc would look like if launched from a catapult.
Beefcake.
He is launched out into the water beyond where Halan was walking on water. As
I retreat, Jeremy, you can hear Ithran'duri just murmur, "Oh look, another falling star."
Magnus, you are unharmed by this event, but it is impressive to you the amount of force and speed with which you were ejected from.
And that was honestly probably one of the coolest things that's happened to me in a long time. I kind of want to do it again.
Okay.
I mean, I won't yet, but okay. I want to.
Can we? Am I to assume that Carlos is your party leader going forward?
I think I am.
I think that's a safe. I think it's a safe way to play.
But she's off doing some moody peeing, so I decided I needed to occupy myself.
Carlos, we're gonna get to you in a second. I want to resolve something with Halan and Delvin real quick.
That's fine. Go right ahead.
Delvin, give me a percentile. Patrick, give me a 20.
$13.
2.
Ah, fantastic. Delvin, after you get out of the water and try to dry off a little bit and pick up what's left of your ego and your pride, you get the feeling you start to feel that it would be wise for one of your clerics to cast a bless spell. You're looking at this temple now and realizing that there is something afoot here that a bless spell might benefit your way forward.
Guys, I'm thinking that we could use some blessing from your gods.
I'm quite a distance away at this point. I probably didn't hear that, and besides, I'm in my own little world right now because I'm emotionally unstable.
Right.
Patrick, Halan and Delvin, I want you guys to role play that piece before I resolve with Carlos, please.
And I think you should probably just ask me to teach you acrobats instead of trying to eject yourself from this island, okay?
Are you kidding? That was so cool!
Oh, these half-breeds, oh my god. Okay, alright, huddle up, boy. We need to make a blessing for this here island to gain entry. And don't go marring no more shit. Alright, huddle up.
Okay, Patrick, is Halan really going to cast bless? Is that what you're going to do?
It was art.
I can actually hear Amanda laughing from the other room right now.
You need me to roleplay this blessing?
No, not necessarily. In order to cast bless, Halan, the way that he was trained in the Temple of Fortubo, he requires the use of holy water in order to cast bless, and it will take a drop of holy water on the bare flesh of each of your party members in order to cast it.
I tear my shirt off. I just tear. I mean, it's like a vest anyway, right? But I just like tear it open, like,
oh my god,
and just my giant Hulk-like pecs.
Hulk
right?
Hogan-like pecs. You mean with that move?
Bend over, boy. I need you on all fours to get that back west.
Step into a Slim Jim.
To our friends out there in Twitch land, this started off as family friendly, but
it just took a definite twist.
I'm just glad Ithranduri and her sensibilities are not anywhere near this.
Okay,
yeah, have any grace, elf? Grease me up, woman.
Okay, right, Delvin and Halan, you guys can shut up now.
That's for the best.
Let's resolve what it is that you want to do here.
Okay, well, when I'm out of sight and earshot of them, I go over to the water as it rolls in. I produce a pair of candles, light them, put them in the sand next to me. I pull out my hourglass and hold it up above me, whisper a silent prayer.
Okay.
Then, when I'm about ready to cast a spell, just turn it on its side so the sands stop. I kind of look into the ether beyond the veil of reality, and I whisper, Prince of Time, I would speak with you. And I cast Commune.
Understood. You guys can see this unfolding, and you guys know each other well enough that this is really no surprise to you. I mean, she does this. The first thing that you notice when she casts this spell, the waves around this key stop, and the ocean is level like a placid lake. The wind stops. The banners in between the columns no longer move. The only thing moving is the three of you.
He is present.
That settles in on you for a second. And from the sky comes a massive silver dragon. And it circles the island. And it is circling Ithranduri, your party, and the island sort of in a concentric spiral until it lands between the three of you. you know this dragon as an avatar of Lendor. Without saying anything in Suluise, you guys are aware that this dragon has come to answer questions for the cleric of Lendor.
I just kind of prostrate myself in the sand. Don't look up at the dragon. Instead, I say, because I know the dragon will hear me no matter what volume I speak at.
Correct.
I say that, Great One, I have questions of this place to which our path has led us. My first question: what manner of threats will we find once we enter past its stairway?
That's your first question.
That's my first question.
The dragon cranes its neck up and back, opens its wings, and when it does, you guys feel a wind that is unlike any natural breeze you can imagine. You realize that it is the wind of time shuddering around you. It is not a natural breeze. When that happens, the avatars of Lendor communicate with you through dilation and contraction of time. It's a language that you've become familiar with just by virtue of, first of all, you're an elf, so you've lived a long time, and you've mastered a lot of languages in your time as a librarian and so on. The dragon implies to you that the threats within the temple are in the shape of a key. And this is going to be a little bit more than I know. Commune is sometimes a binary, kind of deal, but I'm going to give you a little bit more because this is of interest to your god. Lendor, the avatar of Lendor, this dragon, suggests to you that the dangers inside are as the pins of a lock against a key. And you get the feeling that the failure would be akin to having the wrong key and putting it in the lock. You would be unable to proceed, probably in either direction.
I nod.
Now, you get more than one question, so.
I say, Great Lendor, how should we best prepare ourselves for the challenges within?
You guys already feel upon you the blessing of Fortubo. Mm-hmm. When Halan put the holy water on your flesh, one of the domains of Fortubo is protection. So you're already covered in that regard. Patrick, you had something to say? No, you were just weaving magic?
That was me blessing Delvin's back.
Oh, okay, great.
That's the blessing, yeah.
You weren't supposed to use oil, were you? I didn't think that was massage oil wasn't part of it.
Holy oil.
It's lavender scented. I mean, that's part of the magic.
They make lavender scented KY jelly. That's interesting.
It lasts longer.
I lean into Delvin's ear and go, I usually charge for this.
Okay. Carlos, once again with your question, please.
I say, in what manner should we prepare ourselves to survive the challenges within?
The silver dragon before you, which you know as a form of Lendor's and as an expression of his role in the pantheon, shifts on the beach, casting its gaze at the temple and then back at you, and says, doesn't say, implies in that sort of dilated and contracted temporal language that it will not be skill at arms that plumbs the depth of the temple. It will be your knowledge that does so.
Good. Okay. My next question will be, my intention after this evening is to explore the temple tomorrow morning. I will be rememorizing my spells. I intend to memorize Flame Strike. Is it a good choice?
The dragon responds only by craning its neck up into the sky and unleashing a silver flame. That's its response.
Yeah, I'll take that as a yeah.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
And my last one that I am going to ask is the following. I'm going to say, within the temple, is the lock of the temple meant to keep that which is within from the outside world, or to keep the outside world from that is within the temple?
Good one.
You get a positive response only. And the passage of time goes back to normal. I realize that's vague, but it's
both is the answer.
It's an affirmative. Yeah, it's an affirmative.
I stand up and I turn around, brush the sand off of my robes, pick up my candles, extinguish them because give a hoot, don't pollute. Put them back in my backpack, and I come to the rest of the group and I say, we will camp here for the evening, and we will prepare ourselves for exploration tomorrow. Prepare your spells as if we were to go to war. I walk out of there because I have no desire to sleep anywhere near either of these two filthy animals.
That was expected. So you guys have made a little bit of a camp on the border. And Ithranduri is as far across the aisle as she possibly can be from you guys. It's not far enough probably to avoid the scent of you, but she is trying.
It's lavender.
And I'm going to begin to meditate, and I'm really going to try my hardest to imagine that the rhythmic slapping noises I hear are the waves coming in.
100%. That's definitely what you're going to want to do.
Right.
If all your business is covered, we'll fast forward to the next morning.
Right.
You wake up the next morning, and the scene is about as you saw it the prior day. It's actually quite a beautiful place in the ocean, okay, with the exception of the kind of unease that you're getting from this Temple of Osprum before you. I will say that during the night, you all three, Ithranduri, did you sleep?
Yeah, I would have had to have.
Okay,
so I can
and you guys
rememorize spells. You
guys did sleep as well. Okay. During the night, you guys had very tangible dreams. And Ithranduri, you had a dream that Osprum was standing on the water, turned her back on the temple, and disappeared into the waves. Okay?
Wow.
Delvin, you had a dream of a god in your pantheon known as Vatun. And you guys all know that Vatun has been lost to his fellow deities of the Sul. In the dream, you threw your spear at him, he caught it, and your spear, as you know, when you throw it, it usually comes back to you. You recovered. It's a returning, an item with automatic return. When that happened this time, Vatun came back to you attached to the spear. When the impact occurred, you woke up. Halan, in your dream, you were wearing robes of a faith not your own, but rather that of Dalt, who, as you guys all know, is the Sul deity of locks, keys, portals, and enclosures.
Right.
You were dressed as a cleric of Dalt. You were a roguish type of fellow because you're already a thief. So the dream was not uncomfortable for you, except for you were in the wrong religion. You had the wrong deity. No worries, Magnus. No worries. We can. Yep,
I am.
no problem.
The next morning, Jeremy, I would like to memorize the following spells. I'd like to memorize Father's Grace, Time Heals All Wounds, Time Yields to None, The Encroachment of a Clock's Hands, Frozen in Time, Greater Father's Grace, Read the Forking Path, The Dutiful Daughter's Whispers, Father's Authority, When All Was Whole, Who Would Stand Against His Servant, and rather than, Greater Time Heals All Wounds, Venom Runs Its Course, and finally, rather than memorizing The Voice of All Creation, I would rather memorize Calling the Silver Flame.
I'm looking at your spell sheet right now. Calling the Silver Flame.
Flame Strike.
Oh, Flame Strike. Yeah, gotcha. No problem. Okay.
And the shield will bear Hold Person.
Okay.
And the sword will bear. You said the sword has to be Flame Strike, correct?
No, the sword can be anything you
The
want.
sword then will be Dispel Magic, and I will memorize Flame Strike as a ranged possibility.
Yeah, you'll end up using. You can end up casting spells either from her journal. Clerics don't traditionally use a grimoire. They in that way. So it's not really a grimoire. Your job as a librarian. You're kind of a journaler and this, so that's right. It's not a grimoire. You're able to just cast that.
And for those of you out there in Twitch, I renamed all the spells on the list to fit in with Lendor's Faith. That's actually, I memorized Bless, Cure Light Wounds, Protection from Evil, Silence 15-foot Radius, Hold Person, Aid, Augury, Speak with Dead, Dispel Magic, Cure Disease, Remove Curse, Cure Serious Wounds, Neutralize Poison, and Flame Strike. Just for the layman out there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You now have intentions to enter the temple? Gentlemen?
I look over at at my fellows, and I look at them, and I say, "Are you prepared, all of you?" I look over at Halan. I cast on Halan Bless and Protection from Evil. No, I cast this on Delvin, excuse me. Bless and Protection from Evil. I look over at Halan. I say, you can see to your own blessings and protection, I presume, this morning?
Presume correctly.
Good. There, you should be protected.
Carlos, I need to address Ithranduri here for just a second.
Okay.
When you cast Time Yields to None,
right,
is your protection from evil spell.
Correct. When
you cast that spell, two things happen that are of import to you. For one, you can still feel the silver flame of that dragon in the air around you. Okay. The other thing is that this is a reactivity to that spell. So bear with me for a second. You get the sense that there is nothing evil in the surface of this temple. And
I get that feeling yesterday night.
Yes.
Then in that case, what I would have done is I would have prepare because I'm a neutral. I have a neutral.
No. I'm sorry. You felt it as a result of casting it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So it's going to be useless. But
it's a spell. Right. It's a spell reaction. But this is the second point that's really key. And you don't want. Trust me, you want to cast that spell. Mm-hmm. The feeling that you get is that in the Temple of Ostrom, you might be the evil that people need protecting from. You might be that thing. and you don't necessarily have to tell your fellows that, but that's the gut feeling that you get. That said, you've casted protection from evil on Meg.
And if nothing else, at least it'll protect him from things like possession and such. So
100%.
I'm not too worried about that.
It's still a good cast. 100%. Right. No problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I will leave it at that then.
You got it. Okay, now you guys are attempting to go in.
Yeah, but I want to adjust the marching order if possible.
I need to know exactly the marching order.
Right. Halan, I would like you to precede us at a distance of 90 feet or more. I would like you to go silently. If possible, I would like you to walk above the surface of the floor. And I'd like you to carry this with you. I reach out and I pull out one of the silver pieces out of one of the pastries that I have, and upon it I cast Silence 15-foot radius.
Got it.
I put it on a rock away so we can converse. I go back to him and I say,
I immediately reach over and pick up the pastry.
I have no problem with him eating it. I tell Halan that if you should see a spellcaster, either rush to attack him with this in your possession, or toss it at their feet. It will spoil their spell, most certainly, affording you a chance to do what you do best. In the interim, what it will do is it will it'll ensconce you in silence.
The second that this happens, Halan, you feel like your ability to hide in shadows and sneak around. I mean, you're basically a whisper at this point at best. Okay. The other thing is that you need to tell me whether you're going to walk on the walls or the ceiling or what you intend to do.
At the same time, by the way, Jeremy, at the 90 feet mark behind him, Devlin and I will follow side by side.
Okay. Your instinct, Devlin, your first instinct is you want your spear at the ready. Do with that as you will.
Devlin, already have it in my hand and ready.
If we are to see some sort of peril, I will expect you to stride before me while I cast spells.
I always do.
I nod, and I say, you always do.
Hey, boss.
I look back.
Yes?
You watch him move his mouth, but he just says nothing because he's inside his 15-foot radius, and now you see the other reason why I gave him that coin.
Oh. Yeah. I look over there and I look back.
I just keep speaking.
Gentlemen, I
had this crazy dream.
I look over. Speak of it.
I think it was Votun. I don't know, some lost god of the Soul.
The newcomer, indeed.
Yeah, and so I was over there, and this is going to shock you, I know, but I threw my spear at him, and...
Heavens, I could never imagine such a thing.
Right? I knew that would shock you. And it hit him, and it, like, stuck to him, right? And I was like, yeah! And then all of a sudden, like, he jumped back to me, still stuck on the spear. And then he's like, boom. And I'm like, no! And then I woke up.
Should I cheer here, or should I boo? Please
I don't know. No, then I woke up.
And that was it?
Yeah. Wasn't that weird?
It could mean nothing. It could mean everything.
You know, that pastry was good, but it was kind of metallic.
Let us suppose for a moment that if you were to meet a statue of Vatun in here, or his image, perhaps you shouldn't harpoon him from a distance willy-nilly.
That may or may not have been the message. Gentlemen, I have your marching order, and definitely Ithran Duri is making the calls here. Are you? I need affirmation that you are indeed going into the temple.
We are, and I'm going to suggest to Halan that he should use the ceiling, if at all possible, to try and stay out of the range of melee combatants. Keep in mind that you will still be vulnerable to those who have distance weapons. So be careful, but by all means, using the ceiling is to your advantage.
Halan, you're in the lead. I assume that you're hiding in shadows.
Yeah, am I still hidden in shadows?
Are you? Shut up. Are you? Are you gonna walk on the ceiling as she suggested?
Yeah, but as she's telling me that, I'm gonna look back at her and go,
okay.
I'll shake
I'm
my
silent.
head at her.
Right. You guys never get tired of seeing his mastery of his body. He no kidding walks up to the wall and walks upside down until he's walking on the ceiling. He is silent in motion, and he kind of blends into to the situation. I want to give you guys a little description of what you see as a group. Halan, of course, will see this first, and Halan, if you have any actions you want to declare, you just got to tell me as we go forward.
As you're describing this, as we watch him walk in there, I look over at Devlin and say, "He is a prince of stealth and simpletons both."
It's a true story. You guys approach the temple and head up a handful of steps into the overhang, which were supported by the pillars I described earlier. Once you get into this section of the temple, it is a little bit like peeking through the keyhole from one side of a door and looking into the other. As you look upward and around the walls, and Halan, you're going to see this first because you're walking on the ceiling. You're going to see that the temple is decorated with tapestries which depict a massive stone spire that reaches into what appears to be an infinite sky. Above this tower, hovering forever in paint, is a torus which glows gently as if to absorb and reflect moonlight. Around this structure are rings of land stretching out as far as the mind is capable of comprehending. Concentric and vast, they appear to be changing the direction of their rotation around the axis as if floating on an endless ocean, separated only by powerful rivers. The outermost rings are obscured by great mists, leaving what exists there clouded in mystery. After only a handful of steps up, the staircase descends down twice as far into a semicircle entryway. And because of that, Patrick, I need a die roll from you. Percentile.
While he's rolling, Jeremy,
Yep.
how many concentric rings out?
It's not exactly clear because it's been worn away a little bit. No less than 3.
Okay.
85.
Yeah, you, Patrick, you get the feeling that, Halan, rather, because of your racial abilities, you know that this part of the temple was designed in such a way that probably the water at one point came to the top of the, up to the top of the stairs, and that the stairs are meant to keep the water from flooding the temple. That's it, just trivia.
Okay. And you said the spire looks like an infinite sky, so like there's stars above and everything?
Yeah, and I'm not going to give you the detail on this, but I will give Ithranduri the heads up here that this is probably a depiction of a plane of existence, not your own.
It's why I was counting the rings.
I know.
I'm going to look back at the she-elf and point at my eyes and then up and say, don't. Half
I
the
kind
time
of point around in a circle, giving him the idea to walk the perimeter around on the sides while still staying out of range of melee.
So you are not going to trample on the Taurus. Okay, got it. So you guys see Halan. He kind of tries to avoid marring the temple with his feet, Magnus, and and you guys see the stairs now. Are you guys going to catch up with Patrick as he tells you this, that, or the other thing?
We're still behind him. I don't want to take away his ability to move in quiet and be hidden by our sudden presence in there, walking around in armor and being idiots. I do tell Devlin, though, that I look over at Halan, and when he does that so as not to mar the temple, I say, he's a fool, but he's a student. I look over at you, Devlin, and kind of make a little face.
So what I will do is I will describe to Halan what he sees, and you guys will follow up 90 feet later. Once you are within the grand entrance of the temple, the room opens up into basically what, other than the entryway, would be a perfect circle. Mm-hmm. You are greeted to the sight of 3 statues which are kneeling in eternal prayer to the Lady of the Waves, who you know as the goddess Osprey. They are positioned in such a way that they seem to be part of the temple and placed with precision to guard the entryway. The troika faces toward a circular well in the center of the room, within which still waters await. Before I go any further in the description, Ithranduri, make me a die roll, percentile.
47.
Patrick, actually, Halan would make this as well.
Okay.
Percentile?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
9.
In the well, you are certain is ocean water. It's the water that you were walking on earlier. Each of these statues in this trio of statues is wearing male armor of seashells and whale's teeth. And lying across each of their laps is a spear with driftwood shaft and a business end the color of a sailboat anchor covered in barnacles. Closer examination of the unmoving guardians shows that they are not carved from wood or marble, but rather composed of sea salt. And as you guys step forward, you've got a little light coming in from behind you. As the light hits these statues, you get a little diamond-esque twinkle from their forms, but they look as if they're in a meditative state. The scent in the air is of the ocean, and there's just no question that beyond the obvious that you are in the ocean and you are on an island, you're also in the realm of Osprey. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
All right, here's what I want to do. Devlin, I want you and I to stand on the side of this well opposite these 3 statues. I'm going to sign language over to Halan. I'm going to show him a circle with the middle well, us standing on one side, and I want to point him to go around and flank behind them in case they animate.
Halan, you're going to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to be able to use your backstab is really what I want to be able to do is if shit gets critical here. I look over at Devlin and I look down at the water. Does it look fresh? Does there scum on it? Does it look like it's been replenished?
You're asking Halan.
No, I'm looking at you, asking you, Jeremy. I'm just standing there with Halan so that we can look at it together. If I'm uncertain, that way I can get his opinion.
You are certain. I'm not going to describe that element because you are not really close enough yet. Okay, but what I will tell you is, as you're approaching it, you're confident that it is the ocean water.
So this somehow, the flow of the water, perhaps gets under the island somehow and opens up into here.
Correct.
All right.
Okay, now.
But wait, whoa.
Yep.
I look over at Devlin. I said that doesn't stand to reason. Notice how still the waters are here. There should be motion. It should be churning. I look over at these statues. Are they statues that are covered in sea salt? Or are they statues?
I don't think
that have been like from the outside? Has the elements come in here and covered them, or is it actually made out of sea salt?
How close are you going to get to investigate that?
I'm not going to get anywhere near there because Devlin is going to go and check it out. I look over at you, Devlin.
From his hidden position on the ceiling and in
No,
backstab.
not Halan. Devlin is going to check this out.
Okay.
Because Devlin, you can handle a direct hit from a trident way better than I can.
What do you want me to poke?
No, don't touch it. I just want you to look at it and see. Remember, if these things are made out of sea salt, what you'll be able to see is it will be homogeneous. If it's covered in sea salt, you'll see fractures. You'll see that it's not homogeneous.
Okay, let me describe to you, Devlin, as you're approaching. Behind each of these...
Before I approach, I want to tell him something.
Okay.
Ethrondery?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on the beach. Like, if the land is, our world where we come from, and the ocean is Osprum's world.
I understand your meaning.
I kind of feel like right now we're on the beach.
It's very possible. You think that perhaps the threshold to enter the temple is a window between worlds. It's very possible. The ceiling tapestries, and now I'm going to start talking at a level intentionally that I know that if these statues were human, that they could hear me.
Okay.
That they could hear me now. I'm going to say if it were that way, these tapestries would certainly indicate that that this is another plane of existence into itself, another continuum, as it were. Yet I am filled with confidence in our mission, as all continuums Lendor has authority over. Whereas time, he is Lord. I look over at these at the statues to see if they're moving at all. Kind of get my eye on Patrick once very quickly just to see if Halan is in position.
Yep.
Delvin, why don't you go ahead and approach one and see what we see? I will prepare to back you.
So let me give you a little bit of description here. Each of these statues, which you're pretty sure are made from sea salt, behind them there is some shelving into the wall, almost like miniature shrines, and each one of them shows carvings in the form, like a form of sea life following a sailing ship through the water. One of them is a dolphin, one of them is a whale, and one of them is a barracuda. And all three carvings show that within the boat is a Sulawese woman wearing a flowing gown, a necklace, and an ivory ring.
I whisper over to Delvin, these are all aspects of Osprey.
And now I need to know what you guys are going to investigate, because you said a couple of things. You said you were going to look closer at the statues.
Yeah, go ahead, Delvin. Tell them how you want to do this. I just gave the order. You can do the particulars. Sound, Magnus.
Sorry, I was crunching.
That's okay.
I'm going to slowly sort of approach, keep my eyes open. I'm looking for movement mostly.
Nothing.
And I want to react to it if it does happen. But I'll walk straight up to the statues and then kind of place a hand out and touch them. I just want to feel the surface.
I kind of wince a little bit because that was a little bit outside of the order, but let's see what happens.
Okay, you guys, this game so far has been humor and lore heavy, and I know you've been waiting for me to say this. Roll for initiative.
Okay, let's do this.
Well, I'm here.
God damn it, boy! You just can't help but touch stuff in every room.
What Jeremy, could you tell us by our dexterities what if we have a bonus? Any of us?
I'm gonna
Adjust it naturally.
I'm gonna adjust it natural.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
And a 3. So 2, 3, and 4.
No, Helen had a 4.
Halan will go first, and you are in a position. As soon as Delvin gets close to these 3 statues, they spring into life. And here's what you can tell immediately. They are homogeneous sea salt all the way through. And Halan, I need to know what your action is going to be.
On the ceiling, am I above one?
You are above 2 of them in your position because you went around the back to get in backstab. You can effectively get a backstab result on 2 of them.
Okay.
But you have to pick one. You got to pick one or the other. So if you look at a map,
I can't Superman it and just drop from the ceiling.
You can try, but I'm going to make that difficult for you.
Like everything else.
Depending on your dexterity, Patrick, you're going to suffer. If you're a 16, you're going to suffer a -3 on your offhand and a -1 on your primary. If you're 18, you're only -1 on the offhand.
I want you guys to look at the map on Twitch and look at where the 3 stars are at the back of the room. Patrick, you are between the two on the left-hand side of our map on Twitch.
And I will put my cursor where that is right now.
On the ceiling above them, and you get the feeling nobody has any idea where you are. You're half concerned. You're half convinced that even your teammates don't know where you are.
That's probably a pretty good guess.
I gotta ask though. Am I still hidden in shadows?
Oh my god! What's your action, dumbass?
Okay, so I'm gonna stay there, I think, is what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna hold your turn.
I'm gonna hold my turn. No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do what? Tell me.
I'm gonna just Superman it onto the top of one's head with my knuckle dusters.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
These are my cousins, Poe and Dunk. Are you ready to meet them?
Carlos, I apologize. I thought we were gonna play like a real game tonight, and I just
this is what
Tubo be with me.
This is what we do. And by the way, I just want to remind everyone that's your relation.
All right, give me the 20, Patrick.
Woo! Okay, for Tubo. This is you and me with my cousins Poe and Dunk. This is all of us together. A 15.
A 15. Okay, that's great. So you guys see Halan, and with his control, you see his grip on the ceiling give way gently, and he falls through the air almost as if he's cast Featherfall on himself. It's slow at first until you see him wind back with one hand and then the other. And he's got these massive knuckle dusters, which look like a hammer of Fortubo protruding out from his punch. And he comes down on the skull of what you think is a golem, basically. And he does indeed. I rolled a 20. I'm sorry, man. You rolled well, but I rolled way better. You get the impact, and you see this thing go down to one knee, but you do not drop it, and it is now aware of where you are. You are no longer hidden in shadows. Your silence means nothing. And Ithran Duri, you're next.
No. That did not go like I expected. All right.
And Patrick, you are confident that you probably barely made a dent in this thing. When you got the impact, there was a little bit of sea salt mist in the air, and that's about it.
Whoa, well, that did not go quite like I expected, boys. So let's do this. I cast the Dutiful Daughter's Whispers on Patrick, which is Speak with Dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, totally.
No, instead I'm going to cast no, neither. I'm going to move to melee.
Okay.
I'm going to reinforce. I'm going to flank the one that is attacking, that Patrick hit, that has turned to his attention to him. So, how many squares can I move in this round? Am I at 12 movement, or am I lower?
You are on the map. You are what, the purple?
I'm the purple, like excuse me. I'm like the bluish color. Magnus is purple. Helen is red.
You can attack. You can close and attack this round, but you only get one attack.
That's fine. That's better than I expected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move to flank over here, trying to, if nothing else, pull his attention away from Helen a bit, and I'm going to hit with my sword.
And I want to clarify for the crowd: clerics generally don't use swords. The swords in this case are a reflection of Lendor himself. And so they're more like wands, really. But, okay.
Yes. Somebody, by the way, in the crowd just said, we cannot hear Helen scream.
Oh, that's unfortunate, because that was an epic moment for my character.
Okay. Carlos, I need a 20 from you.
Okay. I take my 20, and I'm going to roll on 20 with these new Norse Foundry dice. And they're garbage. Okay, 7.
A 7. Okay, now I need to know: are you swinging with your minute hand sword or your hour hand sword?
Hour, please.
Okay.
That's the main hand, correct?
That's the main hand. Yeah.
Yeah. I take I use the main.
As you're moving in, I want to give you a sense of how these things operate in description. This thing sees you coming, because you're attacking the one that is on one knee.
Right. And by the way, Jeremy, I wouldn't be able to use the minute anyway, because my intention is to have the shield prepared rather than a dual sword attack.
Are you charging with the shield out already?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I need to know that.
Yes, I am.
As you're closing in on this thing, and this is why I allowed you to have such a high movement rate, this thing, whatever it is, saw you coming.
Really? Okay.
And it closed the distance to you.
Oh.
This is why you got your attack off. This thing is fast.
Oh.
In fact, the only thing that you've seen, the only warrior that you've seen move as fast as this thing is Delvin's father, who is a monk of Cord. This thing has its spear out, and with your, what'd you say your die roll was?
A 7 only. I didn't hit. Well, I don't think I hit.
At the what happens as you close, your hour hand blade, you miss your mark on its body. And it's really as a result of the fact that you weren't expecting it to close as quick as it did.
Okay.
You ended up getting a piece of its spear, so you guys had a clash of weapons, but really that was it. Okay? It is now
the only thing that's worse than a golem that is a fast golem. That's not good.
Carlos, this thing moves, as I said, it moves like you've seen Delvin's father move as a monk of Cord. You're pretty sure that this thing is a monk of Ostrom, just right out of the gate. Forgive me, guys.
But a golem. That's really weird. By the way, Jeremy, what is my intelligence? I know my wisdom is high, but what's my intelligence?
Your intelligence is... Hold on. That is a 15.
Okay. Thank you.
So the order of operation now is the golems, and Magnus, you're going last. So on the map, you see the middle monk is going to attack Patrick now that he's revealed himself.
Okay.
He charges at you, Patrick, and you get the Halan rather gets the feeling that it's going to be lights out for you, but you are so deft on your feet that he is not. He's not prepared for your control, your body control. He's not prepared for it, and he thrusts this spear, and it goes right over your shoulder. That's one down. Delvin, the second attack is on you. That's he comes in with two hands, kind of like this. Center of mass. I want you to make a defensive action, please, or attack. I need a damage.
Yeah, I'll try and deflect it.
You have the ability to deflect it. Your fighting ability is so high.
That's a D20, right?
Mm-hmm. 16. That's fantastic. So, are you using your mace or your spear?
So, right now I currently have my spear out because I haven't been able to go since this chaos started.
Yep.
So shield and spear right now.
Okay.
What my plan is to basically, I was hoping to go quicker. I was going to launch my spear at the middle one to get its attention, pull my mace out, and attack the far one that I'm near. That's what I'm planning to do.
But you're on the defensive right now, so
Right.
You're just trying to get the deflection.
Yep.
Magnus, you're going to need to take 4 points of damage from this clash. And what essentially happened between your spear and its spear is you guys ended up in a clash where the two spear ran together. You both ate the spear in the shoulder.
Okay.
And you get the feeling your spear, your spear is buried deep enough in this thing. You get the feeling it might be stuck for this round.
Oh boy.
Okay.
By the way, because I had no idea what kind of monsters we were fighting in here, I'm going to refer when I move golems around as 1, 2, and 3. Left is going to be 1, middle is going to be 2, right is going to be 3. Ignore their initial positions. 2 is, like I said, it's engaging with Patrick.
You got it. I want to roll one more time here. We're in the next round, and I think Patrick, it's you that's up. What do you want to do here?
Okay, so basically I sacrificed my attack to do the defense.
You did a defense, but you'll see how this is going to play out in this round.
Okay.
Patrick?
I'm going to try and take a swing at its knee and get to the side of Carlos.
Okay, give me a D20.
$10.
That's a hit. So what you see when you swing this attack, give me 1 second.
Patrick, did you attack 2 here, or did you attack the one that was facing me and that you were going to run past him and attack him from behind?
I'm hitting the one that is looking... Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's one that's attacking you right now. You could either be attacking him or you can run past the one that I'm facing off with, because you said you were running towards me. You
Yes,
could probably
that
get a
one.
back attack on him on your way by.
That's what I thought it was.
That's
yeah.
what I thought it was too, but I want to make sure.
So you kneecap this thing, and it falls down almost right in front of Ithranduri.
Ooh, nice.
You don't get the feeling you're doing a lot of damage, but you definitely get the feeling that you got its attention. Now, what you guys notice after he has that successful attack is the other two golems, they start to adjust their position, and the two of them start to move in concert. They forego their attacks this round. Magnus, you're up, and you have a 2 for 3 round.
Okay.
Where should I move 3 to, Jeremy?
Hold on.
All right. So I'm going to end up...
2 and the monk that is engaged with you and Patrick right now is monk 1.
Yes, it is.
The other 2 monks are standing next to each other at the point directly between where they are now.
Okay, got it.
Right where your cursor is, yeah.
Okay, got it.
And Magnus, hit me.
All right, so I'm dropping the spear. I hope it doesn't come back to me. If it does, just like the dream, I'm going to try and do like a side roll over my shield, like a gymnastic side roll kind of thing,
You
and
got
come
it.
up low. When things are this big, I'm going to stay low center of gravity. I'm going to yank my mace out, stay behind, and I'm going to try and ankle shot this one. See if I can take its leg out.
Okay. Give me, you're only going to do one move this round? You get two.
Okay, well, depending upon how the first one goes, I'll try and do a follow-up on the same guy. How's that?
The same guy.
Yep.
And I'm gonna move Magnus over to follow it because he'd be following it to attack.
That's fine. Yeah, Magnus, hit me with your 20s.
You got it, man. Here we go. I got a 16 and I got a 17.
Good Lord. The first strike, Magnus, hits exactly as you intended it to, and remember that your mace has a special quality in which it defends you from a particular thing. Mm-hmm. And it will store that defense for later use. Well, in recent times on adventures, Ithran Duri has attacked you with Flame Strike as a means of you having it prepared in advance. That's
what I tell you, at least.
This creates, she's done this basically behind your back, okay? And the explosion on the leg, on the ankle of this sea salt golem is apocalyptic. This thing, you see a spray of sea salt. I mean, it goes up and out and over. It's a miracle that it isn't in your eyes. It's really only the flame and the force of the explosion that allows it to do that. You hit this thing hard enough with that first strike that a significant portion of its leg is missing. It's still able to function, but you have blown the living hell out of this thing, and you're pretty sure that's the first damage done to this thing yet. You're also hit the thing hard enough, and the explosion was big enough that it is now out of range for your second attack. However, I'm going to let you swing at the other guy because he's right on top of you if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, sure. I'll go for a knee shot on the other one.
Okay, so he's actually now attacking 2.
I'll come up and bash
running
like
past
this.
that to get to 2.
Carlos, that first monk that Magnus just hit is against the wall.
Got it.
That explosion was, it was catastrophic.
And I'll use the force from that to carry myself in a reverse whirlwind around to try and smash its knee.
Absolutely. Delvin is the kind of fighter that can adapt, in a moment's notice.
Jeremy, so I moved 3 over to the top of the screen. Is that a good location for him, or should I move him in a different place?
Yeah, that's where I want him, right where you have him right now.
Excellent. Okay.
And Magnus, you're a tactician enough, you're a good enough fighter that you realize you broke their formation. The two of them were trying to get into a formation to help the third guy and come up with a better strategy. They have a way that they fight together, and you've just ruined that. Your second shot does indeed eat into that guy's leg. You get a little bit of salt in the air, but you're not convinced you did that much.
Okay.
Ithran Duri, it is your round, and then the monks get to rally.
Okay, they're there.
Don't let them form up!
Right.
I yell across the room.
Then in that case, what we're going to do is I will attack with 1 attack, but I will also be moving slightly. And the way I'm going to move slightly, Jeremy, is I'm going to move myself up here while I attack. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm trying to draw it away from Patrick. I'm trying to let Patrick open it up for basically I know that I can't do as much damage as these guys do. So what I do is I'm fighting tactically, setting them up for flank attacks. And I'm also hearing what Devlin just said. By moving, they can't guess where I'm going to be. They're going to have to change their formation on their own. All right?
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead. I will attack with my sword at that point in time. And as I do that, I'm going to discharge the spell that is on it at this point in time, which the spell that is on it at this point in time is, give me just a moment. That will be Father's Authority.
Father's authority
Dispel magic.
is dispel magic.
Yeah, I want to see if I don't know what maybe we can. These things aren't true golems, and if it's a true golem, it's not going to work. But I'm hoping maybe I can disrupt whatever motivating force it's got.
Yep.
Okay, hit it with my sword, and I rolled a 19 that time.
The 19, yeah, is a fantastic hit. You feel the spell come out the end of your wand, which is in the shape of a sword.
Uh-huh.
It bites into the clavicle of the golem, and true to your worst fears, it is a golem. It did nothing.
Okay.
It did absolutely
That
nothing.
was worth a try.
No, it was actually, yeah, it was. Okay. I've got one monk. One of my monks is
No damage, by the way?
You are unconvinced that damage is really that meaningful.
Got it.
Given that you did create a space in the golem. It's homogeneous tissue.
Yeah.
What that means, you don't know. It is now my turn, gentlemen.
Whoa. Hey, guys. One of our viewers just gave me an idea. I have an idea about fellas. Go ahead, Jeremy. Thank you, Scottish Jeff. I just got a really cool idea.
Okay, here we go. Patrick, the monk nearest you and Ithranduri on the left side, that's monk number 1. He swings his spear around, attempting to hit both of you.
Uh-huh.
The spear goes right over your head, fortunately.
Awesome.
Magnus, the damaged, the one that you managed to damage with that flame strike on the mace, he rushes up to you, charges in, and he appears to be every bit as functional, even with that missing piece of his leg. He's making it work. He launches forward, and he doesn't stab you with the spear. He's not trying to stab you with the spear. He's trying to punch you with his hand, square center of mass.
God, these things are fast and they're strong. This guy's clearing 10 feet with one leg.
You have no idea.
This thing is scarier than friggin' Halan.
Magnus, that's a 20 on my part.
Oh!
So he
All
hits.
right, good night, guys.
He hits you with a force that you feel like maybe your spine is going to come out the back of your arm. Actually, give me a 20 to see if you can get your shield up.
All right.
I got a 20.
Oh, nice!
Oh, I'm going to give you that. He hits your shield, and the force is unbelievable, but you're able to absorb it. The only thing that happens is you get launched into the well in the middle of the room. So the worst thing that happened to you is you're covered in sea salt.
No,
it's
it's
water.
perfect.
You're covered in seawater. That's it.
It's perfect. Guys,
I'm not done.
I don't care. New play. I'm screaming out at these guys. New play. Use the water. They're made of salt. Use the well.
Magnus, you don't have a choice. You are soaked. You're a drowned rat.
How deep is it?
You cannot feel the bottom. You're confident that it's
Okay, so
deeper
like
than
I
you
went
wanna
under,
put.
now I'm swimming up.
Yeah.
Devlin, did you just say how deep is your love?
No.
Did you just say
I am going to attack with monk number 3.
me.
Monk number 3 charges Magnus floating in the water with his spear. That's a hit. Magnus, you've got to make a defensive action from the water.
Well, this is good. I'm being harpooned, and he's pulling me out of the water.
No, this guy's coming into the water, or he's out
Nope.
at the side of it.
He's spearing at Magnus, who is on top of the water.
You're damn Skippy. That reinforces my thought.
9.
With your shield?
Yeah.
You get a deflection. The spear hits your shield and bounces into the corner of the well.
Okay.
I want. It is now Patrick's turn again.
Are you guys following the Twitch right now? Our crowd is killing me right now. Extort goes, now Devlin's a seasoned veteran with the salt spray on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody just said, not only will you dissolve, Jason goes, not only will you dissolve them, but you'll see if you're pregnant.
Oh, God. Okay. Patrick, I need to know what your move is.
So I heard the elf yell to me, use the water.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to... Where's the map? Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm the red dot.
You're the red dot.
I'm going to run by the well, scoop up some with my hand, and then chuck it up at the golem spearing Magnus.
Like a blinding attack with it. If it
Give me a
works.
20.
Yeah.
Got it. Good move.
Oh, let's do this for Tubo. 10.
That's a success right there.
Blessed for Tubo.
Oh, my baby barnacle.
Delvin, you see Halan run up, and he gets a handful of water on top of the well, sprays it up into the face of this opponent, and it looks, on its face, it looks absurd. It looks ridiculous to splash water at somebody who's lunging a spear at you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
However, Ithran Duri's theory proves correct, and the very instant that this water touches this sea salt golem, you see where the water hits it in the face and in the chest, beneath its armor. The sea salt turns to flesh, and beneath this glittering guise of sea salt is a Sul monk. Really, he hits the deck hard as if he'd been hit by your mace, as if he had taken a mace to the head. He hits the deck. He is out of play this round, and Ithran Duri, it is
just from the water.
Yeah.
What's that?
Just from the water.
Yeah.
Just from the water.
Fortubo was right.
His Fortubo's avatar, Scottish Jeff, is the one who gave us that idea. Jeremy,
I'm still waiting for the
I
tequila.
would like. Did the other monk that was I had distracted because of Patrick? Did it happen to turn at him at all? Hey, Andy M. Emily Bannister's here to watch us.
You mean the last monk that he attacked?
Yeah.
Well, he had a successful hit. He's
Okay,
spun
so he was
around.
looking at him. I'm gonna all 4'10" of me is going to bum rush him. I'm gonna try and tackle him into the water. I'm gonna try and just shoulder tackle him into the water.
Magnus, do you want to try to get out of the well before they do this?
Yeah.
Okay, so Magnus is scurrying to get out of the well. Give me a 20, Ithran.
I'm like,
Yeah, in fact, it's shield bash down, shoulder tackle, just
14.
blast him as hard as I can.
You got it.
And I'm switching dice. I'm part of
Put
this
some water in
group
that
on
shield.
Facebook called
I would.
the Goblin Dice Collective, and I got this from my dice pen pal today. They are blue sandstone dice with sparkles in them.
Fire.
We'll see if they're lucky. Come on, guys.
Necromancers. Just healers at bedtime.
I just rolled a 20 with the first roll I ever rolled. Holy mackerel.
Damn it! God, you guys are
Thanks,
annoying.
Emily. I appreciate it. It's a good look.
All right. This goes off pretty much as you expect. Ithran Duri.
All 410 of me.
Ithran Duri, you run in. You are a wayfish, delicate, librarian-esque, elvish woman.
Right.
There is no reason whatsoever why you would be able to lunge a sea salt golem trained monk of Osprum into a well. However, Lendor was with you, and exactly what you think was going to happen happens. The golem hits the edge of the well and flips in almost as if unconscious and splashes into the water. And Magnus, it is now your round.
Sorry, I'm too busy laughing at Amanda. Okay, so I'm up out of the well, right?
I got you out of there before you got tackled.
Good. 'cause
Where
that was
is he going to be
nasty.
in relation to the room so I can move him?
Yeah.
Magnus, where do you want to be? Did you want to crawl out toward the monk?
I mean, yeah, but the far side. I'm going away from where they're bull rushing all this crap at me. So I did like a 90-degree thing and went upper right.
Okay.
Just
And
like,
what
oh
is
my
your-
God,
90-degree upper right, Magnus. Gotcha. 90
Right.
degree upper right. Right, like right where it's going to be next on your screen.
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep. So
And now we have one monk. We have one monk remaining.
how big are they
let's-
again?
Say again?
Normal? Are they normal Soul, large human sized?
They are normal Soul men. They are these the ones you have not seen the one that Ithran Doherty dumped in the drink yet.
Right.
But the one in which Halan smacked with the water, this is a Sulawese man. He's still dressed in the same armor, that seashell and shark's tooth armor,
Right.
whale's tooth armor. He is probably 60 to 65 years of age. And he appears to be adjusting to his new flesh and blood state. He is definitely not a threat to you.
Oh. Number 3?
No, the other one.
Oh, okay.
The remaining Seesaw Golem is not only fighting for his life, but he has moved, positioning himself away from the fate of his brothers.
Okay, so he's moving in what direction, Jeremy?
I need to see the Twitch map. Monk number 3 is moving up and toward the back wall of the temple.
Okay, and monk number 2's location then is where I must have misunderstood him.
Monk number
3
2
was
is
the one who
on
was missing the leg.
correct, and he's down.
Okay.
Halan and Magnus took care of that.
Okay. All right. So I'm right by the well still, right? I'm going to take my shield off my arm, which is round, right? I'm going to dip it like a cup into the water and fill the bottom with water. And then I'm going to, with a Captain America kind of twirl, turn around and just whip the thing at this guy and try and bean him with it to get water on him.
Give me a 20.
$19.
That's a
Captain
Here.
Sulawese.
That's a perfect shot. You guys see Delvin rear back with this shield with just soaked in that seawater and let it rip like this steel frisbee of watery death. It slams this monk, this sea salt monk, center of mass. The thing slams back against the ground. As soon as there's a spray of water on it, you see it begin, like the other one, start becoming flesh and bone again.
The number 1 monk that's in the drink right now, that's in the well, he has almost become a totally normal human at this point, yes?
You don't know, you haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, I'm
All
kind of
you've
fixating on what his fate is at this point.
Okay, if you're actually looking into that, you see he's having trouble getting out of the well.
I reach out my 10-foot pole and I say, grasp it, in ancient Sulawese.
And he does. He
And I
does.
start pulling him out.
Yeah, he allows you to help him out of the help him out. And they take a minute. They need a minute to gather what has just happened to them. And after a couple of minutes, they introduce themselves as Faithful of Osprey, as a trio of warriors known as the Trident, and that their duty has been to defend, listen carefully, not the Temple of Osprey, but the Temple of Dult, which lies below it. Gentlemen?
I've been given pause.
Ithrandory. Who's that? What does this mean?
Dalt, I look at our new friends, is the god of locks, doors, and portals. He is missing. You see, he searches for his brother, Vatun, where he is imprisoned. This is interesting, and it explains why we thought that this place might be a great lock. But it still does not explain what might lie beneath it. But Delvin, we have another matter we must attend to. I look at the brother without a leg right now. Is he bleeding out right now in front of us?
No. He is alive and whole and well. In fact, all of them are, and one of them actually begins to weep. He is overjoyed at seeing his own skin once again. They all are.
And I go over to him and I kneel down on one knee and I pull out my holy symbol of Lendor. I say, I do not share your blood, brother, but we share the same gods. I say,
for sure.
And I tell him, you need to tell us what we may find beneath this place, for we have been we've been called here by the gods.
He is, they all are winded. They all try to come together, and you see as they come together, they're looking at each other as if they haven't seen each other in centuries. They haven't looked upon each other.
Please take your time and gather yourselves. Not many can stand against Helan and Devlin, I understand. They're formidable.
As they speak, these guys, they sort of finish each other's sentences, and they say, apologies, sister. We do not know what lies beneath this level of the temple. Ours was to guard the entryway for all time. And we believe, and you, before they even say it, Ithranduri, you get the sense that they take the coming of the three of you as symbolic.
In that case, just as a trident has 3 prongs, one trident does not make an army. If your mission here is relieved, will you accompany us beneath?
They look between each other only for an instant, and they say, we will, as the Lady of the Waves allows. I look
between the guys and I say, would you have them at our side?
Hell yeah!
You see the 3 monks kind of gathering themselves. Each of them picks up their spear that they were fighting with. 2 of them come together, and as their spear get closer, they fuse into a forked weapon. As the 3rd monk comes over with his spear, a third fork adds to it, and they have what appears to be this pristine trident made of the same materials, that boat anchor barnacled material. The 3 of them walk over to, on the map, what is the back of the temple. And bear in mind, in this room, there are no doors, nothing. There's no exit except for where you came in.
Right.
And in the floor, the 3 monks, known as the Trident, point at 3 holes in the floor and imply that inserting the trident into the floor will unlock the Temple of Dalt.
I look at the 2 of my 2 companions. I said, how hurt are you?
Just a scratch.
And you, Helan?
I'm all right.
Good. I nod. I said, and your spells are whole then as well, yes?
Yes, Fortubo is with me.
Good. I look over at Delvin and I say, I would like you and Helan, with our previous order, since it served us well the first time, I'd like you to accompany the Trident as they lead us forward. Please be on your guard. We know not what lies ahead.
Ithranduri, you are keenly aware that the Trident is not capable of leading you through the Temple of Dalt because they've never been there.
No, but what I meant is that when they stick the spears into there, they're going to lead us by opening the way, is what I meant.
Oh, I got you. Okay. They do that. They, as you bade, they put the Trident into the key, what is effectively a keyhole.
Right.
And what you get out of this is twofold. First of all, they are all 3 really interested in what is about to happen because they've been in a changeless state for potentially hundreds of years.
Right.
So they are having a holy experience
Yes.
right now. The second thing that happens is the entire room, and Carlos, we need the second floor map up now.
Yeah, I'm about ready to pull it. I'm doing it right now.
The entire room is an elevator upon which the well acts as an axis. So the floor begins downward. And you hear the sound as you guys make your way downward and the floor is reaching into the deeper levels of the temple. You hear rumbling mechanical sounds through the wall. It is clear by the look on their faces that they were unaware that the floor was an elevator.
So let me get this right. That well is like the axis. It's like a great pillar on the pillar that we see on the map right now.
Correct.
Okay. So
now,
wow.
These three faithful of Osprey, and you guys find yourself in this slow rumbling kind of descent into the deeper levels of this construct. They clearly had no idea, and you guys had no idea what was going to happen. The only light in this area is obviously of a magical nature, and it is part of the grout that is in the masonry of the design. And you get the feeling they haven't seen that either. When the motion ceases at the bottom, and this is maybe, Halan could probably tell you it's about 100 feet beneath the surface, you guys behold a sight radically different from what was above, because above was a temple dedicated to Osprey.
Right.
This is clearly dedicated to the worship of Dalt. And you get the feeling that nobody has been here in quite some time. Allow me to describe a little further what you see. The room is a perfect circle, just as the room above was, except for that this circle has no entrance save to go straight back up. Around this room, there are 25, count them, I know you won't, 25 Sulawese men standing at the ready. They appear to be rogues, which stands to reason given the deity worshipped in this area. And they are armed to the teeth. They are dressed in a manner meant for sneaking in and out of secure places. There is no question in your mind, Ithranduri especially, no question in your mind, and Halan too, you know that these are your type of folk as far as thievery. They were placed here to secure whatever lies within from skullduggery, as it were. One thing you notice, all three of you notice, is that there are no two of them that are identical. All of them are different. Do you want to, I need to know what you guys want to do moving forward. How do you want to investigate?
The first thing I want to know, Jeremy, is do any of them resemble an aspect that I'm familiar with of Dalt?
No.
No.
And with that question, Magnus, do you have any questions?
I think I better start putting us on the screen, boys.
Patrick, do you have any questions?
No.
I will continue forward. Behind where all of these roguish defenders are
they frozen? Sorry, that's my only question. Is
Magnus,
are they?
Magnus, good question. They are. Magnus, what you get when you look at them, even if you walk right up and sort of squint at them, they are not moving. They are frozen in time. Now, allow me to give a little bit more description of what's going on behind them. Around the entire room, the full circle of the room, is a ancient relief that is both beautiful and astonishing. All three of you, with ties to Sul history and knowledge of Sulawese legends, are struggling to pull your eyes away from it. There are elegant carvings which depict a great hall, a throne room, Sul nobles and their guests. The tale of this relief, of this carving, shows all the attention in the room is set upon a wizard working at an altar. He is performing what appears to be an arcane ritual over 5 swords. Each one is forged in a different manner with runes etched upon its faces. It takes no time at all for the entire party, and that's as long as you guys are looking at this room. The candles, torches, and lanterns in this carving are actually lit. They actually shine light into the room.
Like there's flame there, or like paint itself that was used as glowing.
The carving and the coloring itself is a light. It's
Okay.
not an actual flame.
Like
I need to know if you guys are going to study the carving further, or this rogues gallery further.
Yes.
Well,
What is your
yeah, but there's something in particular I'm interested in, Jeremy.
tell me.
The 5 swords that I'm looking at. Do I recognize them as the 5 swords of the Thoronian Peninsula?
100%. You're confident that these are the 5 swords which are supposedly, depending on the legend, will unlock the prison of Vatun.
So I know these 2 nerdlings are gonna nerd out looking at this thing, and that's always when the bad guys sneak up on us.
Correct.
And there's 25 of them here that we can see, let alone the ones we can't. Right.
Correct.
So I got my mace, I got my shield, and I just kind of use my peripheral vision. Right. So like I unfocus the room, and I just freeze there. And I just start to look and listen and detect for movement.
You got it. Magnus, as you do that, you also have your spear. Do you want your spear instead of your shield?
I'm gonna keep my spear on my back, and I got my mace out now.
You got it. As you do that, Magnus, you've sort of dilated your focus in the room. As you do that, the motion within the carving, this carving that's all around the room, has a sense of motion within it, even if it isn't actually moving. And Magnus, you get the feeling that there is actually a couple of people in this carving looking at you. Ithran Duri and Halan, you do not notice this yet. Magnus alone notices this because of his action.
Okay.
I say below my breath quietly to them as they're exploring. I think that thing's another beach.
I look over at you, Devlin, and I say, "Don't touch a thing, my friend."
I'm waiting for them to touch you this time.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Let's hope nobody's getting touched at all. Halan?
I need actions from all of you.
I'm just leaving myself at the ready for anything to jump out.
That's
Jeremy, as you can see on the map, I have us all spread out evenly around the room, around that axis, because I didn't know where else we would be.
That's fine.
So
now I want to tell you this, Ithran Duri. The monks of Ostrom are awestruck.
Yeah.
They are first of all, they are unafraid. They actually put their fingers on the carving as if they're touching a holy object.
Oh, Lord.
They cannot believe what they've laid eyes upon, and one of them says, our gods attend this feast. And Ithran Duri, when they say that, you do recognize some of the gods amidst those in attendance at the ceremony taking place in the carving. There are a number of deities in this carving. Halan, give me a percentile.
Okay, Fortubo. 12.
Oh, no problem. Halan, Halan, you being a thief, even though you're a cleric of Fortubo, being a thief, you do know that the thieves of Dalt, the clerics of Dalt, are legendary thieves. You're familiar with this religion, and in this carving, you see two figures. One of them is an older man, and I'll read this description to you. One of them is a young lad who is probably a teenager, and the other is an older gentleman. Both of them can be seen multiple times in the carving. Sometimes they're eating, sometimes they're drinking. One of them is entering from one door, the other one is entering from another. But the most interesting thing that you notice, and Ithranduri, you will as well, no matter where they are in the carving, they are always looking at you.
At me per se, or at you as in the collective you?
The collective, meaning that they're looking at the trident, the group, the three monks of Ostrom. They're looking at you guys, and they're looking at
these thieves moving at all?
Say again?
These thieves moving at all?
No, everything in the room is still. You guys notice one other thing, and that is that every one of these monks is identical, except for two particular traits. One of them is that they, around their necks, they all have a silver key hanging. And the other is on their features, they have their eyes are closed, their features are almost meditative.
Can I get onto the ceiling and walk around?
Absolutely.
Halan, while you're there, use your skills to see if you can find a keyhole. I have a feeling that at least one of those keys there may offer us passage from the room. I look over at the trident. My friends, do you still remember your skills?
We do. What can we do?
See if you can find a keyhole or traps or lock somewhere around the perimeter of the room. Do
Right
not
away.
touch, in any case, please do not touch those thieves.
Understood, my lady. And all three of them go to work immediately. Halan, give me a die roll for your search.
Which one do you need?
I want a percentile.
96.
You are looking at the relief carving, and you realize that in the relief, you guys missed it when you looked at it before, but in the relief, there's a door in the background of this gathering, of this feast or whatever it is, this ritual taking place. There is a door in the back of the carving in the room, and it's small relative to the size of the carving. The door in the backdrop is easy to miss, but you realize that the keyhole carved into this door is big enough to accept a key.
Can I notice how many of those thieves have those keys?
All of them. And now that you've asked about them, you can also tell that those thieves are dead.
And they're not standing in any particular pattern?
Well, they're standing in a perfect circle around you guys as if they mean to guard the relief. But when you went to the relief, and even when the trident, the members of the trident touched it, they didn't move.
Jeremy, I would like to grasp the hourglass holy symbol.
Yep.
And whisper a prayer to Lendor. I'm casting Read the Forking Path. Augury.
Which is Augury. Yep. Okay, ready.
And I would like to ask, if we were to snatch one of the keys from the necks of these thieves, would it lead to a positive or a negative outcome?
What you feel all around you is the passage of time slowing down, and you get the feeling that the answer is twofold. It would be a positive outcome for you. It would be a negative outcome for the rogue, which you take the key from.
I look over at Halan and say, and actually to Devlin too, and actually everyone, it seems clear to me that we're going to have to take the key from the neck of one of these, the dearly departed, unless one of you can pick that lock. However, have a care. I would suspect that it might be trapped.
Who do you want to try to pick the lock?
Well, I'm going to leave that to Devlin's or to Halan's expertise, since this is his stock in trade. If you feel that the members of the Trident have a better chance than you do, then by all means do so. But be careful. I would detect for traps first.
All three members of the Trident offer to pick the lock for you if that's what you want.
Do these members of the Trident have red shirts by any chance on? Yeah.
They do.
All of them. Yeah, C-Force. I figured as much. Okay,
But
so
I
look at the boys. Shall we?
So who's checking for traps and who's picking the lock?
I'm leaving that to Halan to decide. He's the guy that's the expert. If he thinks he's got a better chance than them, then
Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
Step aside, she-elf. I've been doing adventuring since you were itching your daddy's pants. Step aside, folks.
You forget that I'm 780 years old.
You forget that I don't care.
Patrick, you're checking for traps?
Yeah.
Give me the die roll.
Percentage?
Yep.
Meanwhile, Devlin, you and me are going to keep an eye on these rogues.
Yeah,
77.
I want to start making my way around the room, and I want to see if upon closer inspection of these dead rogues, if anything stands out.
Dummy.
Worth anything
Halan,
else.
stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the styles that you're used to.
Wow.
No, for real. Stop. I don't know why this did not occur to me. This is stupid move, Bad Gamer 101. Before we do any of this, Jeremy, I would like to cast another spell. I would like to cast the Dutiful Daughter's Whispers.
Okay, which one's that?
Speak with dead. Idiot.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to approach one of the rogues. And I'm going to ask him, Brother Past, I hope that you reside within the clutches of the Ruby Sorceress well at this point. May we take your key and be permitted to pass.
The instant that you set the spell upon him, his eyes snap open. Whichever one you chose, his eyes snap open. And he is... Roll for initiative.
Great. Sorry, boys. That was a good move.
No, it's all right. This is what I'm here for.
It's all right. I remember when I was a rookie back in the day.
Oh, you're killing me. 4. There's a 4. There's a 4.
What'd you get, Magnus?
5.
Got a 5.
Shots were fired.
Patrick?
Shots
4.
fired, I know. That's okay, though. It was a bad move by me. I got to take it.
Magnus, you've been preparing for 2 rounds. Yeah. For this to happen, you've been prepared for 2 rounds. You're going to get the first shot, even though that rogue was getting a start on attacking Ithranduri. I'm giving you the first go. You got to make.
I'm gonna ruin his face with my mace.
Give me the die roll.
Boy, wow, that's your opponent. You don't even know it, or maybe you do.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
18.
18.
God,
and
it's
you
a good
swing
night.
the mace for right in the center of his head.
Oh yeah, right in the nose. I'm figuring he's coming forward with some momentum. I want to meet it like a freight train.
Why are you trying to fight momentum?
That that mace, your mace is about the size of this guy's head. And when you hit him, he flies across the room in the opposite direction of Ithranduti. Now Ithranduti doesn't even blink. She's used to you working in this fashion. This is what you do, right?
Oh, yeah.
He folds. You hear bone in his skull break, his jaw detach. You're not convinced that he's dead because he might be undead,
right.
But you have lit this guy up.
Yep.
The only downside to what just happened is when he flew across the room, he hit one of his fellows, and that rogue's eyes snapped open. And now it is who had initiative? Patrick, you're up.
Are these okay? I'm going to. What's going on with the map? Oh, okay. I'm going to attack the one's eyes that just snapped open.
Yeah, you have to forgive me, Patrick. I'm putting bad guys on the map right now.
With a psionic attack or a punch or a what?
With my cousin Knucklefist, man, Poe and Dunk.
Got it. Okay, so you're going to charge this rogue.
I'm going in, man. Dude, the good old 1-2.
Give me you get one shot, but give me the die roll.
All right, I'm just gonna sprint, do Superman. 9.
That's a 9. That is a miss.
Jeremy, where should I put the rogue that is now active? The second rogue.
They're right next to each other.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, they're both moving toward the center of the room.
Oh, that's perfect.
Magnus, you have a 2 to 3 round coming up. Remind me of that when your turn comes back around. You get 2 attacks next round because we didn't give it to you the last round.
Yep.
Patrick, you swung, and this thing is agile. It just shifted offline. You swung and missed, and the only reason you didn't eat it was because of your ability. Your body control is so good. And Ithranduti, you're up.
Well, hopefully
the monk that just woke, the rogue that just woke up goes last.
Hopefully, we can put an end to this right now because I'm casting Hold Person on both of them.
Okay.
I'm hitting them both with Frozen in Time.
Give me your die rolls.
I don't need a die roll for that. That's their saving throw.
Oh, yep, my bad.
Yep. But yeah, that's hopefully these guys, we can freeze them both. Nobody touches anybody, and we'll be good. But we'll see.
They're both. Your spell is an instant success. You guys feel the room, time stop within the room, and then there's a trickle effect, and time just stops around them. They are frozen in space, unmoving.
All right, so let's do this as fast as we possibly can.
What are you doing?
Somebody get that. You've got the surest hands, Halan. Don't touch that guy, but get the key off of him, and let's use it on the door and get out of here.
What's up, Delvin?
I have really steady hands, too.
Delvin, are you going Halan, are you going to take that key?
Yeah.
When you get up to, which one are you going to do? The one that he hit first, or the one that that had just woken up?
Oh no, Scottish Jeff, no way.
Whichever one's closer to me.
Can I make another, because I was in the middle of trying this and didn't get to it. Can I just do another quick scan of the ones nearby to see if I can pick out anything else that's differentiating about them?
100%.
And I'm thinking that the key to this is in the mural or in the relief carving. So I want to take one glance at it, kind of freeze it in my head, and then turn around and just kind of like look at the different guys, see if there's anything that lines up.
Okay, this all happens all at the same time.
Sure.
So you guys all see this go down. As Delvin is looking at the rogues and glancing over to the relief carving around the room, the eyes of another rogue snap open.
Oh, damn it.
This happens at the same time that Delvin pulls the key off the neck of one of the ones on the ground. And when that happens, that rogue, the one that loses its key, turns to dust.
Yeah.
It is a pile of dust
Figured.
on the ground. And it's your move.
So not enough time for me to kind of take a look at them.
You know, Magnus, you saw the eyes snap open, and you know, all three of you know that the key around their necks will fit the key in the mirror, in the carving, in the relief.
Okay. Any of them?
It will fit the door that's in the relief, that's carved into the background of the relief.
I tell the guys, I tell the
Trident?
I tell the Trident, thank you, watch his back as he uses the key.
Who's going to use the key? Halan?
I would think Halan should use the key, but since Delvin's got it right now, let's not make it change hands. Who knows what it's going to do?
No. Halan has the key. Are you?
Halan has the key. I'm sorry.
Are you going to the relief, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the Ethan on duty and wait for the nod to put.
Yeah,
the,
I nod.
okay.
I give him the nod.
Okay,
As he's moving over to put the key in the door in the background of that relief, that third rogue who is not under the control of hold person attacks Magnus.
Good.
But he's got his back being watched right now by the three members of the Trident, remember?
He misses because one of the brothers of Osprey levels him with a punch that you're pretty sure broke his neck all the way around.
Oh.
What you guys didn't see when he came in to do the punch was that this hand grabbed the key off his neck. And the result of that punch, he just blasts across the ground as a bunch of dust.
Ooh.
So good call on having Magnus watched by those guys, no doubt.
Okay, that's good.
Halan, you get the key into that relief, and as you do it, you see the young guy, the young kid, and the older gentleman both looking at you from the carving. You know that they are both aspects of Dalt. Once you turn the key in that relief, the walls of the relief pull back to show a hallway opposite the direction that you entered on the top floor. So you're headed deeper into the island on this bottom floor.
Wow. And I will show you the map as soon as my computer catches up here. There's so many layers going on. You'll have to forgive me.
No worries. Down this hallway, and let me get a little bit of.
Can I get a quick glass of water? Is this an okay?
Yeah, this is a good time because I've got to redo some screen. So go ahead.
Yeah, okay. All right. Be right back.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
So the relief opens up, and it opens up to a long hallway that is reminiscent of the entryway that you guys came in originally. I didn't realize Patrick went, so we'll put it on pause for a second.
Yeah, just give it a second because I've got to do some screen reformatting.
No worries. I'm going to grab a drink then too.
I've got a 12 gig file here. This GIMP file is huge. So hopefully everybody out there that's getting a chance to watch us is enjoying the show tonight. This is I don't get a chance to play a lot, so this has been a lot of fun. It's very refreshing for me to get a chance. And Jeremy's doing an amazing job. Yeah, Butsoka, yeah, it's friggin' massive. There's like a million different layers in here because what I'm doing is I'm hiding a lot of layers beneath other layers so I can reveal parts of the screen at a time so that Jeremy can, have some dramatic tension for the game. So yeah, it's a huge file.
You guys are doing amazing. I thought for sure in that first room, I thought those seesaw golems were going to crush you guys.
I thought we were done too. At one
point, as the fight started to get away from the well, I thought,
hey, thanks, Extort. We appreciate it, brother.
If somebody doesn't pull out holy water here soon, it's done.
Well, my thought was, well, I can thank Scottish Jeff for that. Actually, that was his idea to come up with the. Hey, by the way, maybe you guys should use the water. So I got to give credit where it's due. I didn't think of that, but thanks to our crowd for handing me that one. But I think that I was really I'm real pleased with our progress right now as well. All three of us, I wasn't real crazy about our mix at first of our classes.
Yeah.
But as time has gone on, I am discovering that I think that this is maybe better than I expected.
It's totally working. I originally wrote this with kind of the bard at the front.
Yeah.
But you guys are doing fantastic. I'm gonna pull you guys back into the action real quick, just so we can keep the momentum.
Okay, go ahead.
This hallway opens up. Ithran Duri, you are aware from all your years of study that these silver keys that you have, and you guys have two of them. You have the one in Halan's hand, and one of the members of the Trident pulled one off of the neck as well. Will you guys be pulling the key off the neck of the monks that are trapped by hold, the one that is trapped by hold person remaining?
Yeah, I think that's
Absolutely.
Good.
Okay, you guys have 3 of these keys, and you're pretty sure that they are a nod to the silver skeleton key, the silver key of portals.
I look at my friends and I tell them, let me speak to you of a tale of one of Dalt's holy artifacts. It's known as the Silver Key of Portals. It's also known as the Sovereign Key or the Master Key. It has the ability to open any door, regardless of its solidity, anything kind of protection that has been placed on it. It is truly the king of all keys. What we have in our hands right now, they're items of no small amount of power.
Yeah, you can feel that. Now, I'm going to give you guys a descriptor as we move forward here, and I want you guys to give me a marching order down this hallway.
Yeah, I'm setting it up as we speak.
Okay.
Patrick, how do you feel about being in the lead again? You know what?
Man,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Man, I was bored to lead.
Yeah, you were definitely. This time I would like you and you and Devlin to be side by side as you go down the passage. My reasoning this time is because this thing is so large, I want you to be able to protect each other's backs. It looks very easy to get flanked in this long hallway.
Okay.
And look at this hallway, it's like 80 feet across. So I think that I'm concerned about I'm concerned about our ability to go down there without getting flanked. So why don't you go ahead? You two go ahead and lead our party that way.
I'm going to be on the ceiling. Or do you want me on the ceiling or one of the side walls?
I want you to be on the ceiling. And I want Magnus, or I should say Devlin, I would like you to be follow his passage as far as the distance of the hallway goes, but be at the side in case he should fall. I know Brother Halan never falls, but there's always a first time for everything, and I don't want you to be right underneath him when it happens. The Trident will follow you, and I will be at the rear preparing to rain the fire of the Prince of Time upon them if we should be attacked.
All right.
Let me give you guys the steps forward here.
Mm-hmm.
So Halan turns the silver skeleton key into the keyhole, and the walls of the room sink away into the ground, opening up and pulling back. And you hear the shifting of gears and the clanking of metal against stone beneath your feet. This long hallway is reaching out to the opposite end of the island, and it is lit once again only by the grout that holds the stone construct together.
Do we, just as a quick question,
Yes.
do the 3 of us in the races that we are have some sort of dark or infravision?
You don't need it because it's well lit enough.
Okay, I was just curious, just in case.
You do, but you guys do have enough to pull from, but you don't need it.
Yeah, funnily enough, all three of us have it.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay, thank you.
I need, actually, no, I'm just going to tell you. You've got the lighting in the grout, and it is empty with the exception of you see in the distance what appears to be thousands of mice. You hear their little claws, their little feet on the stone flooring. You see a reflection in their eyes from the glow off the grout, and they are moving toward you with a kind of curiosity that suggests they haven't seen a living soul forever. I mean, they don't know.
I look at the brothers as if to say, do you know anything about this?
All three of them say no in concert.
Okay. Let's head towards them, I say.
Well, hey there, little guys. What have you been eating all these years?
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm worried about there, Magnus.
When Delvin talks to them, you see hundreds of them turn their heads and tilt, and they have a growing interest in him. And they start moving toward him.
Halan, do you have any area attack? Any kind of attack that you could do wide range?
No.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true. You have your one offense that you could do.
What's that one offense? Don't leave me in the dark, brother.
It's like a fart. He just like turns around and he lets it rip, and then there's a little lighter on there, and he just...
It totally wouldn't surprise me at this point. What do you have, Halan?
Mind blast for...
Perfect. Okay, get ready.
Okay.
Get ready. That's a cone effect. What I'm going to do, and I'm even going to say this, Halan. I'm going to say Silver Fire, Mind Blast. Combination. Wait.
I'm on the bait again.
You're the bait, brother. Go ahead and...
I need to know, gentlemen, are you going to continue forward, the six of you?
Yes, we are.
Very good, then. The attack begins with a number of small bites from these mice that are approaching you with swift scurries.
Yep. Banging on my shield, making noise.
You're not taking any damage. They're just annoying you and pestering you with their attacks.
Halan, now.
Okay.
And I call forth the silver flame of the Prince of Time.
Okay.
As he mind blasts.
Okay.
You need a percentage, right?
No, I need a 20.
You need a 20. 15.
That's a hit. When that goes out, you hear, as you guys know, your friend Halan is a particularly gifted cleric and acrobat from the Temple of Fortubo. His mind and body are conditioned. When he applies the power of his mind, you can see it kind of come off his body in a wave. You see the cone effect come outward from the center of his forehead like this, and the reaction of these mice is a squealing, horrific screeching, and you swear you can even hear some of their claws digging into the stone as they slide backward down the hallway. There is an odd effect. There's two odd effects here. One is that the addition of a psionic component to this hallway, you think you hear whispers from all of you in your mind. You think you hear whispers from these mice. And they say two words: join us.
Yeah, I had a feeling about that. What happens when I loose the silver flame?
We're getting there.
Okay.
The next thing that you note, Ithran Duri, who did you cast your protection from evil on?
That would be on
Me.
Devlin.
On Devlin. Devlin, you as a result of having that cast on you have a strong feeling of evil. And Ithran Duri, you're confident that this is not a good deal. Whereas fighting the monks, you kind of felt like there was no presence of evil. It was really just you're at odds with your approach.
Right.
This is not that. Your silver bolt screams down the hallway, almost part of the cone, almost from the middle of the cone coming out of Halan's head. And it sears and singes and kills kills hundreds of these mice with this blast. Some of them get hit hard enough they just cease to exist. They just into ashes, and some of them are just wounded down the hallway.
Press forward, friends. Press forward.
As you press forward, the next series of attacks is more horrifying than just the little bit of nibbling that occurred. These mice appear to be a
They're
composite.
still around after that.
Buddy, there are thousands of these things.
Holy
Now-
Talking
mother!
to me.
Holy mother of friggin' Lendor!
What you guys see is that these things start to move as a unit, as a composite mass, almost like a serpent made of mice.
Oh, jeez.
And in this attack round, they are attacking. Who's in the lead?
That would be the two of them, with one of them's on the ceiling, one of them's on the floor.
Patrick, they miss you entirely because of your position. They're not familiar with that. And Magnus, this weird sort of, it's made up of all these little mice, comes up and sort of tries to engulf you.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a defensive action since you've been so preparatory in this so far.
Okay. Yeah, I'm basically gonna use my shield, Captain America style, as like a dome covering, and just kind of crouch as low to the ground as possible, and try and square deflect versus the wave of mice coming in.
Got it. That's going to be effective because of the way I had them attacking. You are going to take a little bit of damage from the overlap because it's almost like being hit by a wave.
Yeah.
You're blocking a lot of the water that would have hit you, but some of these mice are going to get over. They are going to bite you.
Like legs and stuff as they come down around, be like a
Exactly.
umbrella.
You're going to take a little bit of damage. Don't worry about documenting it. It's not enough to really hem you up, but this thing is gaining momentum. Patrick, you see the monks trying to stomp. They're in martial position, trying to stomp down on these individual mice with a little bit of success. You do hear the occasional disgusting.
I yell from underneath my shield as this is happening. Where's the head? Punch the head!
And when Delvin says that, you do see this thing. As you guys are pressing down the hall, Delvin has drawn your attention to the manifestation of a monster you have never seen in your time adventuring before, you've never even heard of. It is a massive, hulking creature made entirely of mice. Its eye holes are a couple of mice overlapping one another. It fills almost the entire hallway.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. Let's
I yell at the top of my lungs and charge.
As you yell, this thing lets out a horrendous shriek. And when it does, you are shaken to your core. You get the feeling that there's magic afoot. I need everybody to make a saving throw.
Is that a 20?
Yep. Yeah, let's try this one instead.
8.
7. Good thing I'm a cleric.
11.
You guys are okay, actually.
Okay.
Okay, you're charging in.
Can we feel the residual of any kind of effect on us? Like, is there any kind of like feeling that we feel like we overcame or anything?
No, but you get the feeling that this thing is it is not. Give me a percentile, Ithran Duri.
Okay. 86.
You get the feeling it's not trying to kill you.
Okay. Let's try something. I'm going to tell one of the brothers to. I'm going to tell two of the brothers to the left and to the right, 1 and 3. Hug the walls and run simultaneously down there to the end as fast as you can to get around it.
Okay. They can only just barely do what you ask, but they are able to do it by sort of skipping up the wall and over.
Uh-huh.
This monster, whatever it is, this collective mass of these mice, it swings wildly and knocks one of the brothers to the ground. The force is significant. The brother bounces off of the floor.
How far ahead are they from me since I started charging at the same time?
With their movement rate, they're probably about 15 feet ahead of you.
Okay. When I see that poor monk get bounced,
Yeah.
I arc towards him. I'm charging shield first, sort of like I'm trying to push against the current, and stay behind it with my face, right? And I'm just going to try and go low and fast and hard, and I want to charge straight to him and then like use my body and my shield to deflect any other thing that comes in at him.
Okay. That will work, actually. That's perfect. So you run in and you're sort of playing counteroffensive in a way.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys see Delvin successfully kind of get in there and play Guardian. Do you have an extra attack you want to do because you have 2?
No, I'm definitely going to use it for defense. If I see another giant pseudopod come in at me, I'll just be if I see another mysopod coming at me, I'm going to deflect it. But I know it's going to be worthless for me to smash any of these little things by themselves.
One of the other brothers leaps into the center of this thing and attempts to kick it in the throat. And when it does, the head of the monster comes off. Those mice that made up its head fall to the ground, and one of the other brothers starts stomping them to death. Now, a new head forms from the body.
Yeah.
But you get the feeling that they have the right idea.
Jeremy, does it look like they're running out of mice? Does it look like the hallway is running out of mice?
It looks like they could if you continued that kind of strategy with Patrick's ability and your magics and Delvin doing what he's doing and the monks doing what they're doing. Yes, it looks like.
Is the middle of the room afire because of my flame strike still?
There are mice on fire. There is a residual effect on the walls. Yes.
Okay. Then in that case,
yes.
I say that we just move to the attack and Halan keep blasting them psionically, I guess.
Okay. You got it. Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. Who goes first?
Give me a new initiative round, actually.
Okay. I have a 3.
Same.
Well, I rolled a 6 for one monk, a 5 for the other, and a 1 for the other. So,
Halan, we needed you there, brother.
you guys see one
It's
of
not
your
the clutch yet.
one of your new friends of the Trident, trying to stick with the strategy of his brothers, comes in and punches this thing center of mass. You see, he hits the thing hard enough that a couple of mice go flying out the back of the monster, but something bad happens. he can't recover his arm.
Right.
What?
You know what is happening next? Okay, never mind.
his
Somebody else has
arm-
an attack first.
His arm is stuck in the monster.
Yeah,
Magnus,
I was
you're
afraid
up.
of that.
I gotta get that guy out.
I've got a
I,
plan. I've got an idea to get him out. Go ahead and
Okay.
do what you're going to do.
I'm just
actually,
gonna try
you and I
and
go
body
simultaneously,
tackle.
so you can follow my lead if you want. But Patrick goes. Well, no, I don't know who goes next. It's up to Jeremy. Who goes next?
It's Magnus.
Magnus next. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna try and body tackle him.
The monk.
Yeah, away from the thing. Because
His
it looks
arm is-
like he's stuck.
His
doesn't it?
arm is stuck in the center of this thing. His whole arm. He punched through it and got his arm stuck.
I'm gonna try and yank him out.
Give me a 20.
3.
This does not go the way that you want it to go. As a result of trying to tackle this thing off, what happens to you is the monster turns its body just at the right moment, and instead of tackling the monk out of the body of the monster, you do tackle the monk into the body of the monster.
Oh no!
And you guys are now sort of bound up together in this thing. And Halan and the brothers and Ithranduri, you guys are looking at one of the members of the Trident and your half-orc brother Delvin hemmed up in this thing. And the next thing that you see is this monster swing back wildly and knock one of the brothers down the hall in the opposite direction, further into the temple.
That may not be a bad thing.
It may not be a bad thing.
I'm going to keep moving him on the map then. Jeremy, up next, right?
You're next.
You told me that these things, I sense evil, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to start winging holy water into this thing.
Okay.
I'm going to start my flask of holy water. I'm going to start just grenading.
You don't even need a die roll for that. So you start throwing the holy water, Carlos, and something crazy happens. You get the feeling that water is acting to destroy the bonds that hold the collective mass together. So when the water hits it, pieces of it start falling off. And even stranger than that,
even better,
where the holy water was and the residual flame from your flame strike spell, the holy water catches fire like it was oil. And you see the pieces that fall off start burning. Magnus, give me a 20.
even better.
14.
Because of what Carlos just did, you are able to break free, but you're not convinced that the monk can yet break free. Patrick, it's your move.
$11.
11. And you're doing your psionic blast?
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, you guys see the focus of your brother Halan. He blasts psionically down the hallway. And Magnus, this frees up the bonds of this monster enough you can pull that monk out now, free action. You can free him.
Awesome. I totally do.
Woo!
Carlos and Halan, while Delvin is saving one of the brothers, you realize that the monster is getting smaller, and that if you can kind of stomp out some of this and keep it from reforming,
Right.
because this thing is basically just blown down the hallway, and the mice are rushing back toward you, the ones that survived, trying to regather.
Right. I'm going to tell the brother that is in front of me, number 2 there, go ahead and start mouse stomping. Kill as many of these things as you can. I'm going to keep them from reforming by keeping up with the holy water. And I'm hoping that Patrick and, Halan and Devin can do the same.
Magnus, I just need to know what you're going to do, because I already know what Patrick and Carlos are going to do.
I'm just gonna follow them.
Are you crushing these mice into the floor?
Yeah, a few here and there.
Okay.
I'm basically trying to run interference, right?
Right.
These guys are doing the duty, but occasionally somebody's on the bad side of things, and I want to try and help them out.
Yeah.
I got you. And Magnus, you were kind of getting that one brother to safety as well. So
Yep.
there was
Right,
a little bit of that going on. Carlos, your application of the holy water, and we're not even going to die roll this because you guys figured this out. This collective mass required you to break the bonds that held it together.
Right.
I can tell you that I actually thought this encounter would take you guys out. But you guys just figured it out. Ultimately, I suspected that what happened to that monk and Magnus would happen to all of you, and you'd all be part of this monster.
I did too, and it was a happy accident, honestly. I was watching the chat, and one of our viewers, Scottish Jeff, mentioned, does anybody have a flask of oil? And I thought about it. I said, no, I don't have, but I have something just as good because he mentioned evil. And two things struck me, and yeah,
that was fantastic. Your guys' whole play on that. There are a few little mice scurrying around. Nothing that would be a threat. The monster is kind of dissipated. It looks a little bit like somebody took a bunch of mice and blew them down the hall with an explosive. And you guys are.
It smells great.
You guys are free to continue down the hallway.
I look over at Devlin as we continue down the hallway, and I murmur to him as we press on as fast as we can down the hallway. I say, remind me never to call Brother Helen mindless again.
I chuckle.
As you guys go down the hall, you have the lighting from the grout, which is keeping the hallway lit. You also have some burning mice in the hallway, which are making it a little brighter. You're able to catch up with the members of the Trident and get regathered up as you make your way down the hall. The important thing that the brother that you rescued, Magnus, he says that when he was within this monster, the voice was upon him, that they were convincing him to be part of them.
I nod gravely.
So then it is a good thing that you were liberated.
Yeah, and I can't thank you enough, is what he says. I'm really disappointed that I didn't get to kill you guys in that, but we're gonna just keep going. You guys make it.
Me too. I always figured I'd end up an undead rogue.
So, totally.
I thought we were all going to end up undead rogues in that key room. I thought that's where we were done.
For sure.
That's just what's going to happen to us in real life, Carlos.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You guys defeating that monster, you guys get down this hallway, and this is a weird scene, and I'm going to give you a little bit of descriptor. I'm assuming the same marching order. You guys get down this hallway, and it opens up to a room. Carlos, can you bring on the Twitch, can you bring the prison map up?
It is.
Oh, it is. Great. Thank you. You guys get into this area, and it appears to be an ancient prison. Iron bars attached to the exact same stonework walls that you've seen throughout the temple. There are 5 cells in total, each containing a figure of importance to the temple. It's faithful for those of you that will make the die roll. Within these cells, there are cots, mattresses, and some blankets. And the ceiling here is about 20 feet tall. The room is maybe about 50 feet in diameter. It is a simple thing for you guys to put together that magic is afoot in this place. The nature of it, even if you had the necessary magic user levels and such, it's so far beyond. This is a divine level of magic in place, so it's not essential to the encounter. What you do know is the only way out of here is to go back and turn that silver key, and if you wanted to leave. Ahead of you, in these cells, sitting on a wooden bench in the far left cell, is a mysterious woman with a bloody waterfall of hair cascading down from her scalp. She's got a number of braids elegantly tied within. She's dressed in a manner that is befitting a Sul noble. But there's definitely something witchy about her and otherworldly. You can't really get a good look at her to get her expression figured out because she's avoiding eye contact with you. She's avoiding attention. And instead, what you notice about her is that her shadow in the cell is the wrong shape and size for her body.
Bigger,
all
smaller?
of her attention. Say again?
Bigger, smaller, monstrous?
It's uneven. It's not that it's bigger or smaller, it's that it's the wrong shape. And while you're pondering that, I'm going to give you a little more description. All of her attention is at this Sue Louise boy who's about 15 years old in the cell adjacent to her. He is dressed as if he's from a house of means. He looks like kind of a wealthy thief.
Oh my God.
He's got bright light to his eyes and a light olive skin tone that is consistent with Sue Louise' lineage.
Oh.
If you guys, the three of you are all going to make a die roll for this. It's obviously the boy from the relief in the prior encounter, in the Silver Key encounter. He's wearing these robes, and in the robes are symbols of Falaran, the Iridian god of horizons, distance, travel, and roads.
Oh no!
What I want to tell you two things about this young man.
Uh huh.
He does not look uncomfortable at all.
No, of course he doesn't.
He looks like he is right where he's supposed to be. If you're looking at him, you notice that his robes bear a little bit of resemblance to the banners that were hanging out front of the temple. In the next cell, there are 5 cells. I'm just going to give you guys the 5 cell descriptions, then you'll have your actions. In the next cell, seated on the stone flooring, is the biggest freaking Sul warrior you've ever seen in your life. He is an absolute barbarian. He's dressed in the skin of polar bears, and he eyes you guys with a gaze that is bestial. Each of his exhales delivers a cone of frost into the area of his imprisonment, suggesting temperatures far colder than it is in the room. You guys aren't cold at all. His full unkempt beard is the color of fresh snow. His musculature tells of impossible primal strength. This guy is a brick shithouse. Leaning against his shoulder with its business end at the floor is a double-edged axe forged from silver or platinum, and it's been polished. It kind of looks like it's made of ice. His posture, he has an obvious desire to be freed from his cell, and he kind of looks at you guys like almost with the view of, hey, are you here to free me? Magnus, you recognize this guy in the cell as Vatun from your dream last night.
Note to self, don't stab him with spear.
No.
Correct. One cell further to the right is an older gentleman. He's dressed in a similar attire, roguish attire. His hair is of a white stolen ivory, and it's pulled back into a low ponytail with a simple leather band. He's using small metallic tools. He's fiddling with what appears to be a spring-powered mousetrap. He looks at you guys, gives you a little nod and a smile. You guys recognize him as the older gentleman from the relief. You've seen him. You saw him earlier. In the final cell is a horrific figure. It's a demon. And this demon is so large that the top of his head is scraping the top of the ceiling. He has a bald head, serrated ears. He has a hunched posture. The musculature that he has is so extreme that it's just impossible. He's got a flesh that is painted a pale blue. And the blue is pale enough, it's almost like a tombstone color. He's got coarse azure body hair, jagged talons, from the tips of his fingers, and from his back protrudes 2 bat wings from the base of his spine. And his gaze is burning outward almost like a bluish light, illuminating his cell. He's got oversized fangs that set almost like a permanent kind of evil smile in his face. And when you guys first see him, he takes a seat in the cot in his cell, almost like it's a throne.
Does he happen to have a rod in his hand or in his possession? Or like a staff?
He does.
Oh my god. I tell Halan and Devlin and all the monks behind us, whatever we do, I don't care how this turns out, do not speak to that one. Do not allow yourself to be spoken to by that one. I will utter his name when we are in safety.
As you guys look a little closer, you notice that the young Dalt, the teenage Dalt, is polishing a sword. Carlos, give me percentile.
22.
You recognize it as one of the swords from the relief in the silver key room.
Which one? Do I happen to know which of the 5?
Give me another percentile.
18.
Yeah, that definitely. You recognize it as Harmonizer. As the Harmonizer.
Sounds like a CD track name for our soundtrack to the game.
I look at both of the guys and immediately drop to one knee. I have my back on the demon, and I tell the others, the others in the cell. I say, progeny of my lord, well met. And I produce my holy symbol.
Okay.
I point over at the chick and I go, she's kind of hot.
I look up at him with this withering glance. Delvin, you speak to none other than Wee Joss, the ruby sorceress herself, goddess of magic and death.
Well, then I take away the kinda.
Act like you know.
Carlos, you, as you get a better look at her, you're confident that she is not Wee Joss.
No, she's not.
That she's not Wee Joss.
She looks just like the ruby sorceress to me. Okay. Then this changes my calibration of things a lot. Okay. I look over at Dalt, and I say, we've come to your temple. I say,
Carlos, give me a percentile.
yeah. I have 47.
You recognize the witch in the cell as Vilhara.
Oh, wow. Even deeper. That's some deep lore right there. Holy moly.
And if you recognize her as Vilhara, you recognize the demon in the other cell as Fraz.
That's who I thought it was. I thought it was Fraz or Blue, but I wasn't sure. That's why I asked about the rod.
But you've identified... you guys have successfully identified everybody, I think, because Magnus had the dream about Vatoon. So you guys have basically young Dalt, old Dalt, Vatoon, Vilhara, and the demon. You guys know everybody in this room now.
I look at the 2 Dalts and say, you found your brother, I see.
The older of the 2 Dalts looks at you and he says, my brother has not been freed. And that's all he says. And when he punctuates it, you get the feeling he's not going to say anything else. The young dolt does nothing but offer you the Harmonizer sword. Magnus, when you commented on the witch being hot, she whispered that she would give you the secret of the monster that you just faced in the corridor.
I look over at Devlin and I say, "Be not tempted, brother." I say, "There are those among us that speak with forked tongues." And I look over at Old Dalt and I say, "Then I suppose that we'll have to rectify that." I look over at Halan and Devlin and I whisper, I'm about to do either the most brave thing or the most foolish thing I've ever done in my life. Back me up on this if it's the latter. I take my silver key that we won from those others and I walk up to the cell for Vatoon. I look up at him and I touch the silver key of portals to it. The lock.
That's a holy shit moment. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. When you apply the magic of the key, the silver key, you realize that it was a one-time use. Mm-hmm. That the magic has been expelled, but it does indeed unlock Vatoon's cell.
Either he's going to cleave me in half, guys, right now, or we're okay. I'm not sure which.
Am I hidden in shadows?
Yes.
Okay.
This is how this unfolds, Carlos. The Vatoon in front of you rises to his feet and thanks you for his freedom. And right after thanking you with a sincere gaze, attacks. Roll for initiative.
Oh,
here we go, boys. That's a 3 for me.
4.
Patrick? Doesn't matter. I got a 6 anyway. So Vatoon looks. Listen, he is every bit the legend that you would imagine him to be. He bears down on Ithrandury with this axe.
I'm looking up about 5 feet above me.
I mean, it looks like if he hit her with it, there would be nothing left of her. Give me it. Oh, it's a 1. Oh, come on.
I pull up the shield at the last second.
Carlos,
protect me.
That's exactly what happens is that 1 is like you rolling a 20 for Lendor to protect you. What happened? Time slowed down around you, and that axe, right as it started to get and cleave you in twain, you were able to slip to the side. You're confident that Lendor just saved your ass.
Can I hear the sound in slow motion of my pants filling themselves?
Definitely. Magnus, this is you, and you have 2 attacks this round if you want them.
I'm totally confused. I thought I was not supposed to attack this guy, but he's attacking my incredibly stuck-up bitch of a leader here. So, I think I'll go all Captain America again and throw myself in front of her and hold up my shield. And, so point of order, do I have to hit somebody with my mace for it to use its power?
No.
Okay, all right. So I'm basically, I'm just going to get ready and have my mace across the shield.
Yep.
and just stand there and stare at him like, you're only getting to her through me, buddy.
You got it.
Boy.
You got it. It doesn't take long. Patrick, it's your turn.
I'm going to do a mind blast.
Okay, go ahead.
Three.
I'm presuming that was my attack this round, right? But was falling back and screaming, "Oh shit!"
You had divine intervention.
Right. I'm cool. I just want to.
Yeah, that psionic blast is a success. It does hit him and it does wreck him back. He falls back into his cell momentarily, shakes it off, and you see one of the brothers come flying over Magnus's shoulder with a kick. He has the trident in his hand, and he plants it square in this Vatoon's chest.
More guts than sense. Okay.
For sure. Another monk, another one of his brothers, follows behind, and you see him plant his foot like a kick at the base, at the handle end of the trident to drive it further into Vatoon.
Oh, nice.
What's Vatoon's reaction?
He is driven back into his cell, into the wall, and grimace. He does, to his credit, he does not scream. He grimaces and grabs the monk in front of him, the closest monk in front of him. The third monk is hidden in shadows.
Okay.
And it is Vatoon's turn.
This is gonna get ugly, boys. Okay.
17, boys.
The good news is Vatoon is in kind of an enclosed space, so.
Magnus, your ploy fails only because Vatoon uses the monk as a missile weapon.
Sure.
And throws the monk at you. It was a 17. With what he adds to it, you hear the monk break against your shield.
Yeah.
You're confident that you've got ribs, a broken arm, maybe. I mean, he's down for the count. He's unconscious, flattened.
Oh yeah.
And who had initiative first last time? Was it?
I had a 3.
Patrick?
I had a 4. He had a 2. I think it was me.
I'm sorry. Vatoon is on his 2 for 3 round.
Yeah, but not only that, I would think Halan would attack before both of us with his dexterity.
Facts.
Yeah.
You see Vatoon grab the other brother that had kicked that trident into him and pull him back against the wall, unconscious.
Oh my god.
And while you guys are figuring out which end is up, he removes the trident from his chest.
Oh, there's a weapon. Okay.
Patrick, you're up.
What do you guys want me to do?
Hammer him with everything we got.
All right, I'm gonna do mind blast again. 15.
Oh,
You
nice.
probably just saved Magnus's life because Vatoon was on his way with that trident in one hand and that his axe in the other, bearing down on Magnus. You hit him hard enough with that psionic blast that he hits the deck, sort of dives over Magnus, and he almost kills Ithranduri in the tumble.
Oh god.
And
All right.
Whose turn is it?
I think it would be you.
Mine?
You had a 4 or a 2.
Magnus. Magnus, you're up.
Magnus is
Yeah.
next.
What the hell is going on here? I don't even know. We let the guy out, and now it's a fight.
I know it's become ugly.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how to take out a godling. So
Hey, thanks, Extort. We appreciate it, brother.
I guess. So is he past me?
He's over you. Yeah, he fell behind you.
All right. Can I jump on his back and then just try and nail him right in the back with my mace?
You can indeed. Give me a 20.
Is this my 2 for 3?
It is.
He didn't attack last time, so.
It is.
A 20 and a 12.
Okay. The 20 is really nice. You get on his back, and you've got like a piece of his armor in your fist, and you bring down this thing like you're ringing a church bell. And it does exactly that. It rings his bell hard. You feel his helmet dent and probably some bone crack underneath it. He's still rattled from what Patrick did to him. That coming down brings him down to his hands, and you have another attack.
12.
He rolled.
Yep. I got a 12 on the second one.
Yeah, excuse me. Your follow-up attack is you're just going to hit again with the mace?
Yep.
Yeah. The follow-up attack is exactly the same thing again. I mean, you've leveled him with that 20. Bringing that other one down does that. He's not quite to the ground when that last brother of the trident comes out of shadows and kicks him square in the face upward.
Like a reverse curb stomp.
Exactly. The Vatoon that you've been fighting hits the deck like a sack of winter potatoes. He is defeated and starts laughing. A hearty, warm laugh. He gets up to one knee, brushes himself off.
I drop my shield and I have my 2 swords prepared. I'm getting ready.
You guys realize that he wasn't even fighting at his full potential.
No, I just cracked my neck and smile.
Yeah, your mace actually might be dented. He gets up and thanks you once more for relieving him from his prison. And he introduces himself with no name. Carlos and Patrick, you guys know that this is not the god Vatoon. He is instead some kind of magical duplicate, like a guardian.
Simulacrum?
Yeah, like a simulacrum.
Exactly. He's a guardian of the temple. And upon defeating him, the room changes shape a little bit. It opens up. The cells move and open and turn. Where Vatoon's cell was, you guys recognize a spherical holy symbol of Dalt. It is his lock and key, his holy symbol in spherical form. The Vatoon facsimile explains to you that this is a sacred artifact of Dalt that has a singular purpose, and you'll soon understand why it was well guarded. It will, from any distance, allow you passage through any locked door or any lock at all.
Anything?
Anything at all.
Oh my.
You can, from this artifact, enter anywhere in the world. Any door that you could not otherwise pass, you can pass using this. And when you come back through that passage, he explains, you'll come back to the Skeleton Caye, this island, this temple.
And what of all the others? I point over at the other simulacrums.
As soon as you do that, as soon as you look back over to them, they're statues.
Huh.
And Vatoon alone, the facsimile of Vatoon alone, is flesh and blood. And with that, I will explain to you the artifact. If you the artifact, excuse me, you can use this temple as a base of operation for future missions, because it does allow you access to any place in the world. Vatoon has offered you his service. This Vatoon, this nameless facsimile of Vatoon, has offered to join your number as a boon companion. In thanks for freeing him from his cell, even though it was only a puzzle for the temple. And gentlemen, you have successfully completed the Skeleton Caye. Congratulations! Nice work. That was awesome. Nice work. That was awesome.
Good Lord, holy moly!
You guys did an amazing job. That was crazy.
One last thing I would have done was cast Cure Serious Wounds on our buddy that was on the ground.
Yeah. Those guys will heal up quickly.
Well, we may revisit these characters, and now we've got some friends. That's all I'm saying.
This was originally meant for Gary Con as a pickup game. The three of you, as part of my Crystal Palace game, we were just going to do this as a pickup. And the idea of this, for those who follow Castle Entertainment modules and adventure cards, is that this artifact, the Skeleton Caye, which is part of the temple, it's all one thing, will allow you to open any door in the Castle Entertainment universe, is really the idea. So for those of us that have played in some of the modules, like the example that I used was the Sanguine Labyrinth, that's a door that you can only open once a year when the moon is a particular place.
Right.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Now you could use this artifact to enter whenever you wanted.
Or you could walk into the one that is the bonus encounters for that you guys never even got to play through. So.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so as long as you know that the door exists, you can passage to it, is the idea. So
that is an artifact that can simultaneously get you through a lot of things and get you into a lot of trouble.
Which is why we wanted it for you guys, for sure. The other thing for you guys, as you know, in our main campaign, we have the concept of analog attunement. And all of these characters were written to benefit the analog attunement of our main campaign. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's the other reason for this aspect of the game. So thank you guys for allowing me to run this adventure card for you guys. That's super fun for me, obviously, to see Carl. I wanted to kill Carlos, but that didn't happen.
Jeremy, why do you think I remained at the rear of the party so often? I knew you were gunning for me. Let me ask you this, Jeremy. As far as our players went, Patrick and Magnus and myself, how do you think we did individually as far as the mission went? Do you think we played the characters okay? Do you think there was something we could have done or didn't do appropriately?
No, I think this is a little bit of a play test in a way. Had we ran it as a pickup game, it would have been different. But we expanded it obviously into this adventure card, and now there's these playtest results, which I'm kind of looking at. I think I should have made elements of the encounters more lethal. You guys did some stuff that I didn't factor in the beginning. And one of those things was the holy water. That was an inspired idea. I didn't factor that in that way. I thought the holy water was going to get used on the trident in the first encounter.
No, and I was holding back that and my flame strike for a different encounter. To be honest with you, I thought the biggest thing that changed the topology of the adventure was Patrick's ability to walk on walls.
Yeah,
because there were things in there that could not fly.
Yeah,
his ability to stay out of range and use his ability without really being hit in kind was a massive boon.
Yeah,
it was great for exploring too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. There were, and you guys could have chosen other character combinations, but this one worked out far better than expected. My feedback on you guys as players is that, I mean, you guys are always stellar players. I expected you guys to be successful. I just expected that my encounters would be a little bit more lethal to you guys. You guys did. Yeah, go ahead.
You got a couple things going. You had Patrick, who has no fear whatsoever, and he had a character that could explore and really not be hit in kind. So that really plays into his strengths.
Right.
We had Magnus and myself, me for the lore part of it, where I could interpret the lore and tell them, this is the consequence of this. And Magnus is a very good nonlinear thinker. He's a very good lateral thinker. And as a result, those three things were they allowed us to circumvent certain puzzles pretty well.
I'm going to tell you the thing that Magnus did that threw this entire thing cattywampus. He did this a couple of times, I think, during the course of the game tonight. He held his move.
Yeah.
And that in the encounter with the relief, the room with all the rogues, that rogues gallery should have destroyed you guys. Yeah. And the fact that Magnus didn't revert to his orcish nature and attack, rather he stood back and kind of watched, that you ruined my encounter. Magnus, is what happened. You ruined my fucking encounter.
I love it. I love it. I love to hear that as a player.
You ruined my encounter because I was so looking forward to that encounter. I'll give you guys the Skeleton Caye PDF. In fact, I'll give a Skeleton Caye PDF to anybody who watched tonight on Twitch. If they're
absolutely. I'm looking up right now at our viewership, and the viewership is fantastic tonight.
The other thing that happened in that room was the hold person.
Yes.
That changed. I was able to get one more of my rogues awake, but you guys were so potent with the trident at your back and
my thought process with the whole person, I was halfway through the first encounter and regretting taking it. Because I thought to myself, you know what, we're not going to run into people to hold.
Yeah.
And then when I saw those guys, I was like, oh yeah, this is exactly where this should go.
I was actually waiting for our two clerics. I assumed you both had turn undead. I was waiting for that room to light up of undead rogues, and then basically you guys just to tag team a turn undead and just blast them to dust.
I was afraid we were going to need them. When he told me they were dead, I was thinking that I thought turn undead right away, and I thought to myself, you know what? We may end up needing these guys. We may destroy the keys by doing this. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't really drop hell in here quite yet. Let's play this out a little bit.
Yeah, you guys in that encounter, the fact that I was only able to get 3 of my rogues awake, those rogues are an average of 12th level.
Whoa.
And the idea is that every round I would have been able to awaken a new one and overwhelm you guys.
Mm-hmm. 25 12th level rogues against 3 guys that are 9th level.
And
everybody out there in Twitch, that's what we need in first edition by balanced encounters.
Yeah. This encounter,
I call that TPK.
Now, I'll tell you the one that you guys did masterfully. You asked for my feedback. I think you guys handled the mousetrap. That was the composite monster. I was disappointed because I wanted that to go on for 15 rounds. And honestly,
we're dead in that. We're dead in that if it's not for Patrick, though. If it's not for Patrick Psionics, we're dead in there. I totally screwed up when I threw Flame Strike too early.
Too soon.
I jumped the gun.
Too soon. If you would have waited until it had fully formed,
I would have been way
you had a better shot.
But
dude, your descriptions of the mysopods, engulfing and looming and twisting that was so cool, dude.
So let me throw this out at you, Jeremy. As a guy who runs a lot of games online at CASL Entertainment, I thought you did a masterful job. I mean, I'm watching you how easily you took to this and everything, and I'm wondering if maybe I'm better served as a player in your games now instead of the other way around. I think we all of us players, I just saw Patrick do it, we all owe you a round of applause, man. You did a nice job. Thanks, Nightheart Gaming.
The way you stayed focused while we were shitting around at the beginning.
Oh God, I wanted to slap the shit out of you guys.
I know.
Well, you know what the thing is, man?
We're greasing each other up with the oil.
That was, I thought when we were on the beach originally, I thought, oh God, there goes my whole game. I mean,
right?
This is not. No, honestly, you guys are obviously we already play together. I as much as this format is fun, I am more of a PvP judge, a PvP DM.
Yeah.
That's more my style. But for you guys, I would run anything. This is always hanging out with you guys is always the best night of the week.
Oh yeah.
Well, we obviously need now the sequel or the next adventure or whatever you want to run.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other swords, right? I mean, you're setting
we've got
this up.
Harmonizer now. I mean, where are the other 4? They've got to behind some door, don't they?
I will give you guys your loot and experience points from this, but I never really thought we'd play these characters again. Were you guys attached to the characters enough to play them again?
I really liked Ithranduri, to be honest with you.
I think we should have Carlos wear a dress.
I will wear a dress from this. I won't shave though. I will wear a dress and a headdress, but I won't shave.
That's fine.
It'll look great. I thought, no, seriously, I loved. You guys are gonna think I'm being facetious, but I'm not. I loved Halan in this. Actually, you totally took me by surprise by the direction you took him in, and I thought it was hilarious. That totally got me because I'm used to Magnus playing the over the top character, and you totally got me with that. So I thought that was fun, and I thought it was really it was a cool change of pace. So I really did like that.
He did. He was working on his voice for Halan today, and up until right before the game, it was kind of an Asian, Chinese, Hong Kong type of accent. And I thought, okay, cool. He's going to go kind of Hong Kong kung fu fighting type of thing. And then on the way here tonight, he hit me with that in the car, and I said, "Please tell me that is not Halan." And he said,
and it's stuck.
"Oh, brother, it is." Okay, so no,
oh God, we whipped that out. I would just lost it.
Oh, dude, that was
hilarious.
Well, the problem with that was it was game breaking for me because I'm just trying to hold it together.
Right. For the 43 people that are in our audience right now, Nightheart Gaming just rated us with 23 people. You guys just missed the end of the adventure. Jeremy just ran just an absolute classic just now, the Skeleton Caye.
Thank you, brother.
It was absolutely awesome. I mean, it was our first Kingside CASL game. I'm hoping that you guys next time get a chance to see him in action, because watching Jeremy in full flight on that side of the screen was awesome tonight. You did a great job administrating us and navigating the rule set, the first edition rule set, which I know is kind of baroque, and I know you don't have a ton of experience with it, but you did it with aplomb. And man, I'm proud of you. You did awesome.
Hey, thanks, man. As you know, I run primarily D100 games.
Yeah.
So this was a little bit of a reach. There was times where I was rolling for damage here behind the scenes, and I'm going, "Is that 6 or 8?" But that's just how it goes. Role playing should be about role playing.
Yellow.
Not about rolling the dice. And you guys are obviously, you guys are expert players, and I think it was great. I really thought. In every game, whether it's a convention game or an online game, there's usually 1 or 2 players, depending on how large the group is, that kind of stands out. Yeah. And I thought it was really cool that you guys really all stood out in this game, and you all played your roles, which was cool.
Absolutely. I think you can tell when a party has good chemistry and good balance, because you allow people to shine in different ways without the DM having to force that. Like sure. Patrick being our scout, Devlin being our heavy hitter, me being, the coordinator and the spellcaster. Yeah. It worked really well and allowed all of us to shine in ways that don't happen unless, if you've got multiple people filling the same kind of niche, then it doesn't really work that way.
Right. Yeah. No,
and you did a nice job of not letting the monks take the shine off of Halan's role, which could happen because they have a little bit of overlap in some of the things that they
100%, and they're a much higher level than him. That's
right. So I think that works really. I thought it worked really, really well. I'm reading some stuff here in the chat that I want to address right now. I'm reading Extort, who just joined us tonight. Great DM and good team play with the players. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that, man. I'm reading Free Vatoon. Somebody's chanting in the background, Free Vatoon. Somebody says, I support everything Greyhawk, even though I wish it was 5e. One day, we're not too far. Somebody says, I like to see these characters gather the swords now. Patrick was hilarious.
Yep.
Somebody mentions, which he was, I agree.
Yep.
We've got a lot of people in here that are really liked what you did, Jeremy.
Oh, wow. That's really cool, man. Honestly, running a game in your shadow is a little bit intimidating, so I appreciate that. That's great. You know,
Well,
like
I don't know about that, man. It seems to me that if I'm Eminem, you're Royce the 5'9". I don't know who's in whose shadow sometimes.
I've always been Royce the 5'9". I've always been about 5'9", but I will say that PvP.
That was for you, Patrick. Don't shake your head, damn it.
Yeah, totally. He was on a Bad Meets Evil tip right there. I will say that PvP is probably more my jam. I almost ran this for you guys PvP, but after discovering how long it takes to run an adventure card PvP, I decided against it because we're doing lumps of coal, as you know. Me, Patrick, and Magnus are doing lumps of coal, and it's a short adventure card.
It's one of the I don't know who did that, but
it's one of the simpler Castle Entertainment adventure cards, honestly.
It really is. It was it was a Gen V1 for me. It was one of those.
For sure. I think it was
one of the first three I released through Castle Entertainment, and those of you guys who are members of the Patreon know I get better and more complex as we go because I learn more cartography tricks and stuff like that. And,
sure.
I decided to open up the floodgates a little bit more on the adventure cards more and more. So the stuff that's adventure card now is just crazy. It should be a full module, honestly. I mean, the last one I did was 23 pages of a mini module. That's ridiculous. Come on.
That's where I was at with Magnus and Patrick. Was we got started on the Lumps of Coal adventure card in PvP format, and pretty soon we're so deep into the lore that there's like 40 pages of it. And
absolutely. I'm seeing right over here some other stuff that says, Jeremy, you rock. That's Emily Bannister who said
true.
That. I got you're out of excuses why we can't take a vacation now, Carlos, from Amanda.
Yeah. I got it.
So I guess you're running First Betrayal solos for people while I'm on vacation. Don't give everybody all the treasure in the world. Try to keep the game balance for me.
Message received, Amanda. I got it. Yep.
But there are. All I'm saying here is that there are 4 other swords.
And one of our viewers mentioned that there's 4 other swords out there, and we have doors and keys with which to find them. We've got people over here like Patrick right now could start his own monistic order of hillbilly monks, basically.
Oh God, please, no.
I'm just telling you the truth. With these 3 over here, while Devlin and Vatoon and fake Vatoon are sitting there, being our infantry, and I just have to find myself some acolytes, and all of a sudden we're a force.
That's right.
We're a force.
Well, and I'm just gonna scratch my name into things and jump in the pool.
Oh, don't do that anymore, please.
Magnus, that was another thing you did that made the game tonight, is getting to launch you. There was one other thing that happened tonight that I was just itching for you guys to do, because Carlos said, does somebody want to try to pick the lock in the relief? The temple is designed to eject you from the temple if you violate it. So Magnus trying to carve his name, ejected him into the ocean. Imagine, I was so looking forward to this. Somebody get ejected right out of the building for trying to pick that lock.
Well, we just kept getting stopped right before we sent Patrick to do it, so it never really came off the way it should. Jeremy, I will say this. Do you know why I did what I did with Patrick in the water? Why I had him walk on the water and do what he did?
No.
There was an actual game reason for that. I wanted to see if he could maintain 2 psionic disciplines at the same time, so I knew what his capability was.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I did. I wanted to know if he could walk on the water and still do that at the same time without falling in the water. If he fell in the water, it would have been hilarious, and we all would have got a laugh out of it. But the truth is, I wanted to know exactly what I could get away with having him do.
This is an interesting thing for those in the audience tonight on Twitch that are maybe not into the 1E psionics thing. When I built Halan for this game, I rolled really well for psionic strength and lousy for everything else. And there are so many ways in which
Hence the hillbilly thing?
Oh my goodness. We've got some stuff over here right now. I've got Speak Truth to Power, somebody says. I've got That's the Scarlet Brotherhood, Hey Haw, about the Hillbilly Monks.
Nice.
Emily goes, Carlos, I want a Hillbilly Monk campaign.
The Scarlet Neck Brotherhood?
I cannot believe, Halan, you want the people want to join your Hillbilly Monk order.
Yeah,
somebody
totally.
says Scottish Chef should continue the adventure. You have the simulacrum with you now. Now we know Jeremy wants to kill players. Psionics are difficult to play. It's so true. I never allowed psionics too difficult. I've that's a refrain I hear from a lot of players and DMs.
Yeah.
So,
I just want to address the psionics thing real briefly, and then I think we ought to wrap up because I think people need to get home. But
of course, yeah.
The psionics thing is an interesting deal, and maybe it's a good point for a castle talk one of these days. But I wrote 7 characters for the character draft of the Skeleton Caye, and 3 of them were psionic. And the reason that I did that was because sometimes you want a character effect in the game, and it doesn't have to be game breaking. So I gave Halan, his defense modes don't matter because they weren't going to be used in the game, but he had an attack mode, which was the psionic blast, and he had the body equilibrium discipline. Because he was an acrobat, I wanted to take the acrobat skill to another level, and the psionics is a way to do that. So for those of you guys that hate psionics, remember that you can just use it as a passive way to enhance a skill in their class.
Right, and there's actually precedent for that. For those of you guys who are huge fans of some of the World of Greyhawk material, my favorite module of all time is Lost Caverns of Socanth. It's well documented. Well, one of the side quests in Socanth is you can meet this hermit who just happens to have 20th level mass domination. Okay? It's a wild talent. Just one thing he happens to have
Right.
is just his thing. But that's the way you can spice up a character with some real weird, obscure wild talent, maybe post-cognition at a very low level,
Right.
that he just happens to touch things every once in a while, and oh my goodness, I happen to get a glimpse of the past, that kind of thing. It just adds spice and flavor to him.
And that's exactly the deal. Just use it as seasoning. And here's the other thing.
Salt?
Just use it as salt. Use it as sea salt for your golems.
Right.
We got assaulted.
You guys got you could have got worked in that scene. It just didn't quite play out how I wanted. But that sounds terrible because it sounds like I wanted to kill you all.
Well, everybody in the crowd seems to think so. So, when you're the only person that doesn't think that, maybe you're wrong.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just going to throw that out there, Jeremy.
I was hopeful. Magnus, you're maced in this game. You didn't get to see what the mace did because it was passive.
Are you kidding me? He flattened a fake Vatoon with it. Are you kidding me? And he blew off a dude's leg with it. I think we got plenty to see what it does.
But I didn't get a chance to show you what you absorbed.
Yeah.
You started the game having absorbed the flame strike. Right? So you got that. Later in the game, you absorbed with that mace the fear effect of the mousetrap monster.
Oh, shit.
So your next impact on Vatoon also casts fear.
Nice.
On him. So I wanted that weapon to shine for you because it was kind of your
super cool
spell casting. Yeah.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Carlos, of course, thanks for hanging out with me. I will see the 3 of you, of course, back in the Crystal Palace again, soon. And if you're seriously entertaining the idea of doing this, I really need to revisit it because it was meant as a one-shot. So if you guys really want to continue to play this, I need to think, I need to get back to the keyboard and think.
Well, don't ask us. Ask the community.
Exactly.
They want it just as much as us.
It seems that at least Halan's got a lot of fans. So maybe Devlin and I don't show back up. Maybe it's the pre-gens, but the fans want more Hallen.
Tortuga wants those 4 swords, y'all. We gotta get them.
Okay. I am definitely I will consider doing a sequel to the Skeleton Caye as long as Halan is not involved.
Oh, by the way, I should also mention that, well, it's too late because now Emily Bannister wants to be one. So you know what's going to happen.
God, these things have
What do you think is going to happen when she decides that that's the character that she wants to play in Wolves of St. Cuthbert?
Oh, please.
God.
So now all of a sudden I've got to deal with that mess. Thanks, Jeremy.
Oh, I'm comfortable with that. I'm okay with that. As long as you're dealing with it. All right, guys. I'll see you guys at the Panopticon as always, and Carlos, we'll see you First Betrayal as well.
You sure will. And for Carlos A.S. Lising of CASL Entertainment, saying goodbye for Magnus Miller-Wilson, for Patrick Hope, for Carlos A.S. Lising, and our Dungeon Master, Jeremy Brezeale. Everyone have a good evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Guys.